What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Patrick, aka Addicted to Combat, back for another live stream, and we've got a banger of a fight night card. Finally, one that probably is going to deliver like a fight night card should. Whenever they go on the road, UFC Orlando, Thompson versus Holland, 15 fights on this card, and man, I don't know. I just get that sort of nervous energy, that anxiety when there's 15 fights, and you know damn well there's going to be at least a couple of them that are going to drop off at the weigh-ins tomorrow. So let's hope it's ones that we don't have action on. Hope it's not the top fights in the card. But without further ado, I mean, my guest needs no introduction. He is a extremely profitable gambler, especially at the end of this year in Q4. Coming off of a clean sweep. I think I'll let him tell you guys about it himself. It's none other than Cody from BloodMoneyMMABets. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
What's up, Patrick? Doing great, man. Just happy to be here. Happy to be on this show, talking some good fights with you, man. It's going to be fun.
Tell the people about, what was it, 65, UFC Vegas 65 last week. I know we did 2 weeks ago. We did that live fight companion that you were a part of on my channel, and you swept the board, right? 5 bets, no losses?
Yeah. 5 bets, went 5-0 and won 11.5 units and was super happy about that. It was the first time I raised my bets up because I've been winning a lot recently. So I've raised my bets up in price and actually hit them all. And yeah, we're going to go for back-to-back this week, man. Got 5 solid bets in this week. And
okay,
I feel like I got perfect bets in for this card. 15 fights to choose from, a lot of different props, a lot of different money lines. And I chose 5 perfect bets out of all of them. So I really like the bets this week. I think I'm going to go back-to-back on them. So
I mean, if you could do it last week or the last UFC card, you could do it this card because we got 15 fights to choose from, right? So that's a lot of different spots you can pass on if you don't like the fight. I've got a lot of action on this one, too. I've got a few money lines, one big parlay of 3 fighters, and I've got quite a few like over-unders as well. I think 3 of them right now, so we'll point those out as we go through. But, yeah, I'm excited. But which fight are you looking most forward to besides the main events of this card?
I mean, there's a couple of them. I really want to see Darren Elkins and JSP just for the fact I want to see what JSP is made of. Like, I know he's tough and all that, but he's going to fight a junkyard dog, and they both do the same thing. So I just want to see this would prove, what he's really going to do in the UFC. And I mean, I think he should get the win and all that. But just more like a lot of prospect fights. I want to see what Yasmin's about, Jauregui. I want to see if she's the real deal. And I really actually want to see Tracy Cortez and Amanda Ribas for multiple reasons.
Yeah, you and Johnny K were perving out on that stream last night about that fight. I hopped in exactly when you guys were talking about that one.
Perving and swerving,
dirty old men. Tisk. But yeah, there's a lot of these like just like Jonathan Pearce and Darren Elkins. There's a lot of like once again decade old age discrepancies between fighters here, including the main event with Holland and Thompson. Yep. So I don't know if there's going to be some people on losing streaks like what's his face, Michael Johnson. We'll see if people stick around after this card, and they see a UFC fight in 2023. There's a few fights where I feel like there's going to be, some release. You go on the roster watch on Twitter, that account that shows whenever somebody's cut from the promotion. I feel like we might be seeing a few red X's next to some names on this card. So.
Clay Guida, Scott Holtzman. You do have a lot of them fights on here. You do.
We'll see about that. It's going to be some fun ones. So before we get into all of this action, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say possibly Anders and Daukaus too.
Oh, God. Yeah, that one too. Somebody else with, just like a shoddy record. So there's a lot of, you're pointing out some pass spots here betting-wise, but there might be some opportunities here. I was just going to shout out the chat real fast. We got Papa Chuck in the house saying, hurry up, boys. I'm snow blowing again and need some good entertainment. I think he's somewhere like on the west, somewhere in the west.
He's in Idaho.
Idaho? Okay, that's right.
Yeah, out in the mountains. It'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah. Good luck to you, my friend. I hope we can provide you some entertainment during your snow pushing. I'm here in the Midwest, so we're going to have our turn very soon as well. Got my boy Zach Singleton in the chat asking the same questions about Papa Chuck's blizzard situation. Our boy Johnny K Picks.
Johnny.
Saying, yo, these guys have no idea what they're talking about. Definitely like and subscribe both of these trends. That's 100% true.
Those are the facts.
We got Rob Lawrence, my boy, in the chat saying, let's go. A sad little face there. Ontario here, for fuck's sake. Dude, Cody, have you read about this with the James Krause domino effect? Eric Minner. I assume it's all based off of that fight fix, right?
Yeah.
Alleged fight fix that happened with Derek Minner and Nurden Beck a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and possibly even maybe a couple more with them guys. Yeah, that's crazy. I hope that doesn't go far because I mean Ontario's a big place and they can't just. I mean, they can't come. Yeah. I don't know. I guess they can't come to America and do that. Like I don't think they'll do it in America, but who knows if they think it's just cheating. But I mean, they've let boxing go for 50 years, and that's.
I feel like maybe it's because Canadians are like they have so much more integrity than us in the U.S. Right, in the U.S., we're like, so what? We're cheating. So what? Like
you win some, you lose some. We've been dealing with
they're like the integrity of the sport needs to come first. Let's shut this down before we move any further. America's like whatever.
Whoa. Like, hey, whoa.
But that is crazy, and I feel for everybody. I know my guy who I'll have on next week. 2 weeks from now, Manpreet, Lock of the Night. He's in Toronto. So
wow.
Yeah. We got a few other friends in this space that are a lot of really sharp bettors in MMA and come from Canada. So. Hopefully they can find other ways to, get through this and get some action down. That's terrible. So I don't know. MMA Propaholic in the house. What's up? He's dropping great content on YouTube. He's broken down a lot of these fights in great detail. Check out my boy MMA Propaholic and subscribe to his YouTube. And Jenna Marie, the absolute gem of MMA Twitter. Jenna Marie telling you, Cody, she got the t-shirt. So
yeah. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked it.
Was that like a 3XL pajama shirt for little Jenna Marie, right?
Yep, that's what she said too. But yeah, I gave her the large, man. I'm gonna get me a bunch of new ones made up. I'm gonna have to see some Addicted to Combat ones coming out too, man.
Ooh, that'd be clean.
I'm gonna send you one too. Just message me your address and stuff when we're done.
I like those Blood Money Bets ones. Those are awesome. I'll wear that. The bookies closed up shop in Ontario because they're scared of this stream. Yeah. What's up, Effie? Everybody go check out Any Action Sportscast on YouTube as well as the great Carlos from CJP UFC Bets on YouTube as well. What's up, my dogs? Ready to talk fights with some good people and enjoy a smoke. Light up and let's talk fights. And yeah, he's saying, Papa Chuck saying Haley, Idaho. They already got a few feet of snow. Jesus. Wow.
Yeah,
that's not us. We got our boy Mushroom in the chat saying, "What's up, Patrick?"
Let's
fucking go. I hope you're eating good today, my friend. My guy Dale from the Punch List MMA. Another man. Everybody is in the chat that has shows here, so check out Dale from Punch List MMA. He did some good numbers on Spotify as well as rebuilding his YouTube. So go help him rebuild that YouTube channel and give him a subscribe. Tell him Addicted to Combat sent you. I'm going to have my guy Dale on here very soon. He's a very sharp gambler. And the guy's
I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, Dale and I are having this thing on Twitter, too. We're just posting. We're both big metal fans, so we're just posting songs back and forth. What the mood is for the work day. My guy Dominic DiFiore. This is the World Cup podcast, right? You are wrong, my friend. You got to have from the MMA Engine. He follows the
World Cup. Who won the World Cup Series? Was that Houston?
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. I don't know. How long is the World Cup, Cody? Does it still going on?
Dude, I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. I've never watched it. I think it's a tournament.
Talk about this, Dominic, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
We got Stevie 23 in the chat. What is up, my guy SRO? Yo, man, how are you both? We are doing good. And Jenna shouting out Mushroom. Let's break into this, man. We got 15 fights to get through. We still do, right? No fights have been canceled yet?
No bad juju. Knock on wood.
I'm so scared that somebody's gonna. Who's the suspect out of all these fights to miss weight tomorrow? Kevin Holland?
Dolidze, maybe.
Yeah, the short notice guys like Dolidze. He's a suspect.
I hope. Man, I hope none, because to be honest, I like all these fights, even the ones I have no bets on. There's still like the prospects you want to see. Elliot Marshall, Francis Marshall.
Elliot Marshall, that was a UFC fighter way back in the day.
Yeah,
he wasn't around for very long, but that was like.
I think he's a good coach now, though.
Okay, gotcha.
Out in Colorado or something like that.
I was gonna say that name sounded very familiar, but I remember him fighting. He had like 5 fights in the UFC.
He was on the Ultimate Fighter and stuff. But I think his middle name, they call it. He was a fire marshal too. I'm pretty sure. So
really, okay,
interesting. Up in my brain.
Yeah. Dale saying, Matt Schnell. That's the weight suspect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Tom saying, I'm pretty sure the Miami Heat won the World Cup. To be honest,
right? Was it the Heat? Okay, LeBron.
All right. Yeah. Shout out LeBron. All right, let's get into this. First fight of the night, women's strawweight here, 115. Yasmin Jauregui, one of these prospects you're talking about you want to see, undefeated. 9-0 Yasmin Jauregui taking on Estela Nunes. And these two were supposed to fight back at UFC San Diego, I think, in August. But that's when Yasmin Jauregui took on her debut against another debuting Yasmin Lucindo as well. And they had a very fun fight. If it wasn't for Nate Landwehr and David Onama coming after that, I think that would have been fight of the night between Jauregui and Lucindo. You know, that was an amazing fight. Good striking performance. We saw Yasmin Jauregui shut down a lot of the takedown threats, the wrestling attempts, and just outstrike her way to a dominant 3-round decision there, showing good toughness, good power, good cardio, technique. Estela Nunes, you know, she's kind of missing those latter two things, right? She's kind of sometimes missing the technique. She's more of a brawler, especially if you, force her back against the fence, and her cardio does tend to fall off. This will be a time, though, her third walk to the cage, looking for her first win in Estela Nunes' career in the UFC, and she's not going to be facing a takedown threat here. So this is a good matchup. The money line, I assume it's moved. It's probably pretty wild. We're looking at -320, -330 on a lot of books here for Yasmin Jauregui. I agree with her being the favorite by that much. I mean, I'm not so sure about that. You can get about +250, +270 as an underdog. Estela Nunes. Dare I say some of the betting value probably on Estela Nunes, since it's a women's 115 fight. You assume it's going to go to decision, right? So naturally, it'll be closer than 80%, implied probability that Jauregui comes out the victor. But I do think she wins. Probably a safe pick here. What's your thoughts on this fight? Do you think it's going to be any chance that this doesn't go to decision?
Yeah. I think Yasmin can finish Estela. To be honest, I don't like to bet women's MMA too much, but I did put Yasmin in 2 parlays. I think that she's the better fighter. I think that she has decent wrestling, good jiu-jitsu if she needs to use it. She's used on the regional scene, definitely better than Estela Nunes. And then she's definitely going to have better gas tank. Estela Nunes is 30, almost 31 years old, where Yasmin's 23, going to be improving every time. And I think she hits hard enough to stop Nunes, especially when Nunes starts to slow down, because Yasmin throws this sick overhand right to left hook combo. If you watch her against Lucindo, she was cracking her with that a couple of times, and I think if she lands that on Nunes, she might be able to get her out of there. We've seen Carnelossi finish Nunes. We've seen Sam Hughes almost finish Nunes. These are 2 girls that I think that Yasmin would beat up pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't see Sam Hughes out wrestling her, and I think she could beat Sam Hughes up standing up. Her striking is good. Estela Nunes has that fast striking. She can strike backing up and all that, but it's only for 1 round. I bet her against Hughes. I bet Carnelossi against her, but I bet her against Hughes, man. And you just seen she looked phenomenal in the first round. Sam Hughes doesn't have the best striking, so it's not hard to look phenomenal against her. But she looked phenomenal in the first round, came out in the second round, and they didn't even grapple in the first round. She didn't get taken down. I don't even know if there was an attempt made. And in the second round, she comes out, and there's just all the snap was gone from her punches. She was a completely different fighter. I mean, where Hughes just was able to start walking her down a little bit, got that takedown, almost finished her. But I'm taking Yasmin. I would say the best bet is probably Yasmin by decision, but I really do think that if Nunes starts slowing down, Yasmin can finish her. Yasmin has finished 6 out of 9 wins by KO. No submissions, KO and girls. So I really like that left hook. I really think that she can catch her with that left hook at some point in this fight, man. And I think she has a better chin and a more tougher will to win. So give me Yasmin. Just like Mushroom said, man, 3rd round or decision. I like that.
Right, you want to catch them fading. I mean, it's again though. You see my point about this money line just being,
it's huge.
For a women's 115, it's tough to have that big of a favorite when the fight ending power isn't there at the weight class. I mean, the same thing could be said for men's 125, right?
Right.
If the fight ending power is not there, the only way you would get these numbers make sense is if it's a big submission threat, because obviously the BJJ does not discriminate weight classes as far as the fight ending power. But so that's scary. But I do think Jauregui is pretty safe for parlays, to be honest. I think she's got the better technique and the better gas tank and can last. But yeah, I mean, both girls are. I think there's some things for Estela Nunes that we have not seen yet, because she's had to struggle with the grappling, and there's some things that we have not seen from Jauregui because she's rather untested. So, I don't know. We'll find out. It'll be a fun first fight of the night. But yeah, I think I'm with you on that. As far as parlaying Jauregui, I've not put her in anything yet, but I might build. If I build off of like the parlay I have from, the top parlay, if I build on, kind of do like a PRP style thing, she'll definitely be towards the higher part of that.
Right. Another thing is like Nunes isn't dangerous to me, man. That would be another thing if maybe she had, like you said, a submission threat or a KO threat. She hasn't KO'd anybody in, I believe, like 6 years. And that when she did, it was like her second and third fight. So she just don't hit that hard. She's almost 31. Already 0-2 in the UFC to two girls that aren't that great. I see this Yasmin girl, like her wrestling and jiu-jitsu looked good in the regional scene. Like I see her being a real problem at this weight division as she gets older and keeps going. So I don't see her losing this.
Yeah, she's young. You're right. She's so young. I kind of forget.
23, man. And if you look on her Instagram, dude, she's got like an 8-pack with giant thighs, everything flat. Like, I'm telling you, she's going to be a problem in this division.
Yeah, it's fun when you see them sort of have somewhat of a complete game at 23, and in these women's divisions that really do need that young talent to, I mean, it's going to be a patient rise to the top, as far as like title run, but it's nice to see that we're building the ranks with some talent there. So got to take notice when you see that kind of athleticism and well-rounded skill. A lot of times in the women's division, it's like, striker, pure grappler. Nobody really has it all. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. This girl's a savage, dude. I really believe in her.
Good. So we're in agreement with that one. And Dale saying as a dude who just turned 37. Yeah. Happy belated birthday to Dale. He just had a birthday recently.
Happy birthday, man.
Old hurts. You hurt his feelings, man.
I'm 40. I'm 40. So, I mean, I'm just stating them MMA stats, man.
Can't relate to you boomers, man. I'm 17. I'm a young man.
I know, dude. It must be nice.
Me and Bert go to school together. We're in the same class, in the same PE class. All right, moving on to you were talking about Elliot Marshall. I think Dale mentioned. I forgot he does coach Dober and Miranda Maverick. I think they had been at Team Elevation, and then he took them separately and coached them. So I've heard his name. But we're talking about Francis Marshall now. Same nickname, the Fire Marshall, 6-0, coming off of the Dana White Contender Series 3-round destruction using his wrestling game. Now he's making his debut against Marcelo Rojo, who, once again, also looking for his first win in the UFC. So both of these guys kind of in the same boat as that part goes, looking for their first W. Francis Marshall, young guy again, 23 years old, kind of like mirroring the first fight we just talked about, right? Kind of a young guy versus an old guy, both looking for their first win in the UFC. Minus, what are we looking at? Minus 170-ish for Marshall. It's coming down, minus 165, minus 170 for Francis Marshall. I guess you can find some better prices out there on the books. Marcelo Rojo around a plus 140 or so underdog. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you kick this one off, dude. How do you feel about this matchup stylistically? What do you see as the weaknesses and strengths of each guy?
Great stylistic matchup. Weaknesses and strength. Francis, weakness, experience, man. The guy, you know what I mean? Young kid. What is he? 23 years old. 6-0. I would like to see these kind of guys get just more experience, maybe like regional scene or against guys with records, closer to theirs, because he's a young kid, but I like him, man. Marcelo Rojo, his weaknesses definitely, cardio. He goes hard in that second round, and if you don't get his opponent out of there, he usually gets finished in that third. I believe he's lost by submission in the third 3 or 4 fights in a row now on his losses. But yeah, man, this is really, really good test for Francis Marshall. We're going to know right away how good this kid is. He's well-rounded. He's got wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's showed good boxing on the Ultimate Fighter. I just don't know. I mean, on the Contender Series, I just don't know how good that Connor dude was, Connor Matthews, I think. I don't know. We don't know how good he was. We do know Marcelo Rojo's pretty good, though. He was up 2-0, in my opinion, on Charles Jourdain going into that third round before he got finished there. And I mean, that says a lot. Charles Jourdain's pretty good, pretty experienced guy. This is going to be a tale of two tapes, I think. Either you're going to like Marcelo Rojo in the under. If you like him, you're going to like the under. I think he's going to have to get it done in that first round and a half. And if not, then you're going to like Francis Marshall in that over. Because I don't think Marshall gets Rojo out of there in that first round and a half. But I do think that if he can keep him in there, put pressure on Rojo, he can gas him, get him out of there in the third, just like has been the pattern for Rojo. I'm staying away from this fight altogether. I want to see, this is going to tell me a lot about Marshall and that. Because I could see Marshall coming out getting that leg chewed up in that first round if he ain't able to land some takedowns and just get beat up. You've seen young guys come in against experienced guys sometimes and just get beat up because they haven't been in. They've been the hammer the whole time. They've never been in bad situations.
Happens constantly. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for that.
Yep. And when you see a guy that's 6-0 versus a guy that's got 24 fights, I mean, you could see it happening. So I'm going to stay away. I would go with, if I had to, I would lean with Marshall to get the finish in the third or decision. But I'm staying away, man. I do think he's the more well-rounded fighter, younger. He's got the 11-year age difference, so I like that going for him. But it's a tough fight to bet, man.
Yeah, we agree on a lot of the same points in this one for sure. As far as like the finishing equity for each guy, like Marshall is probably grinding out something late. Marcelo Rojo, he's definitely going to do his best work early and probably fade as it goes on. Just like his record, even before the UFC and Combate, the guy's fading, getting finished by much lower than UFC tier competition at round 3. And that's usually where he, is going to fail and fan out. And so I'm actually taking the over 1.5 in this one. I like that spot because I think Francis Marshall wins this fight. But again, he's green. He's incredibly green. His striking is very basic, not like a whole lot of combinations, just kind of, simple things to gain respect, maintain distance, and then try to level change effectively and get the takedown, So I think he's able to employ that game plan. It's a weakness for Marcelo Rojo for sure. But taking the over 1.5 in a men's featherweight fight at minus 165 where I got it, I'll take a stab on that because I think it fits in with Francis Marshall's win condition, which is either later or just by decision. And, I kind of get that extra lack of a risk with taking a young guy, right? I don't have to, He could fall apart as this fight goes just as easily as Marcelo Rojo. I don't know, right? He looks good so far, 6-0, but like we mentioned, sometimes it takes these young guys like that one first loss to really, learn where they're at, get humbled, go back to the drawing board and, improve. We see that happen a lot where guys will have one loss in their record and then become an all-time great, So,
it usually has to happen like that, like a lot.
Yeah. And luckily mixed martial arts is that type of sport where it's forgiving. It's not like pro boxing back in the day where it's like you got to have that shiny undefeated record. And once you lose once, you're done. Mixed martial arts is super. You can have a lot of losses on your record and still be the greatest. So over 1.5, I like for anytime I see a lower weight class, either a women's fight or men's fight, and the over under set at 1.5. And I'll look for reasons to bet the over because they just don't have that kind of finishing power.
Right.
But Francis Marshall, I could see getting a submission in round 3, probably where I end up on this one. As far as those long shot props go, Marshall in round 3, I'm seeing around like plus 800. By sub in round 3, looking at like plus 1,100, maybe better on FanDuel when they drop it.
Yeah.
How's that? I mean, that's not a bad look because he's got a slick back take, and I think Rojo will be putty in his hands to fall apart in round 3.
Right. And especially I like that over 1.5 because Marshall hopefully comes out with the right game plan, uses grappling, in that first and second round heavily. He's got good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, and that burns clock and it's going to burn Rojo out. Yeah, man, I like that over 1.5 bet.
Oh, we're looking at people in the chat. Evan Oding saying the same thing. Marshall round 3 sub plus 1,100. Yeah. Kraus may be on that one too. Yeah, and that echoes what Dale is just saying in the comments about Rojo having the James Krause grease on him. I wouldn't touch.
Oh yeah, he trained with James Krause. I mean, I know he was Brandon Moreno's striking coach in Mexico. So he might have came up there with Moreno or something.
Yeah, anybody with that James Krause association, anybody who's even taken a picture with him at this point is like a suspect, it seems like.
Right, yeah.
And Propaholic saying he likes the over 1.5, but he missed the line at minus 130 earlier on. Yeah, I mean, that would have been an absolute steal. I still think minus 170 or so, whatever it's at now, is a steal as well. Minus 165, I got it at. I thought that was decent. Again, low weight class fight. I don't know. I'd say Marcelo Rojo would have to really look like, he'd have to pull off the upset for that to go under 1.5. And Francis Marshall would have to show us some sort of striking he's never showed before early, or, really just dominate the grappling in the first 7.5 minutes to win under 1.5. So not very likely in my opinion.
No, Kyler Murray, or I keep saying Kyler Phillips. It took him to the third round. Kyler Phillips was way better than Marshall, and it took Jourdain till the third round too. And I don't see Francis Marshall coming out here and running through Rojo quicker than them guys. That's what
I got to give my guy Lou Betya from the MMA Engine credit on that last one with Kyler Phillips. He called the round 3 sub for Marcelo Rojo that night.
He kills the props, dude. Lou knows his stuff, dude.
Yes,
with them split decisions, the yam bag shots, all that, man.
I think his show Props to Consider, and then maybe Bet comes out it's either out already today or it comes out soon.
Oh, I'll check that out on the way to work,
MMA Engine for those long shot props. I try to follow his lead. But up next at 155, moving up 10 pounds, we got Natan Levy taking on Gennaro Valdez. This is almost a similar fight to the one we just talked about. I mean, there's a lot of similarities I can see. Lower weight class at lightweight here. Natan Levy, 7-1 record, very unproven after having a very successful career in the LFA, going like 5-0. And then coming off of a very successful Dana White Contender Series bout. So Levy's kind of got that Wonder Boy Thompson thing about him at a lower weight class, karate fighter, very wide base, rangy strikes, but the guy's got some nasty submissions up his sleeve as well. So if it goes to the ground and he gets nullified from his karate striking, he can certainly either threaten submissions and pull it off, or threaten submissions, get back to his feet, keep striking. Where I draw a similarity with Gennaro Valdez in this fight as the underdog is kind of like we just talked about with Marcelo Rojo. He can really come off to a very fast, dangerous start early, but as the fight goes on, he's going to fade, and it shows because he's never actually been to a decision before, which makes me always want to look for the violent spot in this fight. 9 out of his 10 wins, and his only loss most recently in his debut to Matt Frevola. All of those, 9 out of 10 wins, and his only loss for Gennaro Valdez under 1.5 rounds. So again, I'm worried about playing unders in a 155-pound division fight, but I had to take the stab on the under 2.5 here where it's set at, and I believe I got that at a decent line as well. So for a guy who's never been to decision, minus 155 to the under 2.5, I took a stab at 1 unit there only. I didn't pay the price to win 1 unit. I just put 1 unit on it because Natan Levy's been a decision. He does tend to slow down and get beat up later, but I'm not worried about Natan Levy so much going to decision. I'm worried about Valdez, who I've never seen there. So I'm taking Natan Levy to edge this one out. I'm not confident. I think this money line could be a lot closer, but give me the under. I like violence in this spot. And anytime Natan Levy, kind of has the grappling advantage over somebody, that raises my eyebrow. He's very slick, but it's more of Valdez really just burning himself out early trying to finish this fight. So give me the under is what I'm most confident in here. Natan Levy, slight confident pick. So how do you feel about this fight? Interesting matchup again.
Yeah, this is it's hard to bet this fight. This is a fight between two kind of lower level technique guys that just go balls to the wall the whole time. The under 2.5 is so perfect, dude. I was pissed. It was at 150 when the casino released it. Yeah. I started working out. It was at 170 when I got done. When I was on my way to the casino, it was 190. I was like, motherfucker. So I missed that because I wanted to bet it straight.
It went up that high? What's it at now?
It's like -2 something, like -230 or something, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I missed that. But, dude, this is violence all the way. Gennaro Valdez, all of his fights have finished. Most of them in the first round. I think he's got 1 third-round finish. He got finished in the first round. Both of these guys are sloppy as hell and just go at it. From the first minute of this fight, when the bell rings, these guys are going to both go at it full speed. They're both sloppy. It's probably going to be back and forth like crazy, transitions, striking, all that. I favor Valdez's striking, actually, even though Levy has a striking background. He's kind of sloppy. He throws big shots. He does have good body shots, but I see this being sloppy. I honestly see Valdez probably winning that first round, crazy back and forth, but he gasses like he did against that dude that was terrible in the Contender Series, and he got rocked in that. And then in the second round, he was looking gassed. He just got lucky that dude was even worse. So I see Natan Levy getting that second or third round submission, but he could get finished in the first round. The best bet is bet violence on this fight, man. I do not see this fight going. I see this being a crazy, sloppy match. Like if you watch any of Natan Levy, he gets takedowns, then he gets reversed because he's more submission over position, and it's just like this fight's hard to call with both of these. It's almost low, even though they both got a fight or two in the UFC. It's almost low level. I'm not high on either on Levy either. I don't
certainly not.
At all. They're both the same size, man. Give me violence. Give me Levy in the violence, but not confident in the Levy pick, but I am confident in the violence.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. You're right. It ballooned all the way up to the under 2.5, and this fight is now, minus, man, I just had it and I lost it.
240, or wasn't it something huge?
Minus 225 right now on Bet Online. It's higher on some other books like Bovada I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't even intend to really beat the line movement, and, I always minus 155.
That's
for the under 2.5. Yeah. And I was hesitant, but I was still hesitant to put more than just one unit on it. Normally I would pay the price on that and pay like 155 to win 100, something like that. But I was hesitant because I'm only basing that off of one guy when I made the bet. I was basing it off of Valdez not making to the scorecards ever before.
Yeah.
Whereas Levy I've seen. So again, it's a lower weight class, 155. So I'm always hesitant to play the unders in spots like that. But when you see the odds swing that heavily against where it was, now I'm mad I didn't put more on it. But this is the way it goes. You gotta trust your gut. I was gonna
slam it, dude. I was gonna slam it. Yeah, that's just the way these guys fight from both of them from the opening second. They'll both just get into a sloppy slugfest. They're both gonna gas. They both get tired in that, but like. I just like Levy's submissions later. As he gets tired, he'll still fight through it. And dude, this is a sloppy fight. There's so many fights on here that are they're going to be good fights, but just stay away from the betting because they're too close. There's 15 fights to choose from with all these props. You don't have to bet like Ribas and Cortez.
I want action on all of them, though.
I do too. But like Ribas, Cortez, any of them, it's like even Nico Price, Phil Rowe. I like having a side, but it's like, bro, nobody knows what's going to happen in them.
There's a couple here I'll just be sitting back and watch. Well, most of them, but there's some that certainly I'm staying away from. You did make a good point when you talked about how sloppy this was, and both of these guys are off the Contender Series, like a lot of people make their entry to the UFC these days, and sometimes they have a very spectacular either comeback victory or just a lucky finish of the Contender Series, and it gets blown out of proportion because they're facing somebody else who looked terrible, and they were able to really show out against somebody who wasn't UFC caliber, when maybe neither guy is UFC caliber. Valdez or Patrick White, who he beat in round 2, right? Neither guy is, but one guy's going to look better if he gets the finish. So I think there's a lot of fraudulent guys coming off the Contender Series, and you get to find out. And if you've got a good eye for it, you can find that out and put money on it when they make their debut. So
yeah, and Levy, man, rewatching that Borden fight with him or Mike Breeden, I mean, dude, he barely won that. If he did, he was getting beat up in the third because he's got a gas tank problem and he's just so sloppy, dude. He's got technique, but he throws like a fucking wheel kick from 8 foot away that ain't gonna land. And then like I said, he gets a takedown, but he's always he'll give up position all the time. This is going to be sloppy mess, man. That under is the way to go. Definitely.
Absolutely. Shout out to my guy, Justin Villegas in the chat.
Hey, what's up, man?
The combat show's so good. He says, but damn, shave the, I think he said shave the goatee shorter. Oh my God. Keep it real with me, guys. Am I ugly? Does this make me ugly?
No, man. It makes you look tough. Makes mine's out of control.
I want to get mine all the way down where I can braid it, but my girlfriend usually wants me to cut it shorter than that. So.
Do the who is it? Beltran, man. Beltran. Tuck it into your fucking shirt and everything, dude. That would be badass.
That's disgusting, but it does look badass. Yeah, I don't know. I like whenever I compete, which is usually about every quarter or so. I'll just shave a handlebar mustache and compete, and then usually just that resets the goatee for me, and then it's all over from there again. So, my guy Jay, Border Rage, the boys are back in town. Let's get it, and let's break into the next one. We've got cruising through these prelims, which there are a lot of, and this next one, Tracy Cortez versus Amanda Ribas at women's flyweight. Any other fight night card, this would have been on the main card. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
These are two high profile women. I think they both ranked at flyweight. At least they should be.
This could be a co-main on a weak fight night, to be honest. These two prospects.
I mean, quite frankly, it's probably the second or third fight down if they're at the apex. So between these two women, it's a close fight. Pick 'em price tag probably still, right? Nobody's the underdog in this fight at this point.
Yeah, it's going back and forth. Ribas was the favorite at one point. I think Cortez might even be the favorite now.
Yeah, a lot of books straight pick 'em, -110, -110. Break this fight down for me, man. How do you feel about these two women? We've got Tracy Cortez only having one professional loss. Amanda Ribas not that much more, right? She's 11-3. How do you feel about this one? I know the big narrative is Tracy Cortez's wrestling versus Amanda Ribas's well-rounded game. How do you see this shaking out? Any bets?
Man, no bets on this fight. I'm staying far away. Maybe did a little personal little baby parlay just for fun because I only got my 5 bets on, say, the over. Just throwing it in. I threw it in a little $50.5 parlay. But, dude, this fight is really good because Cortez, all right, Ribas to me is going to have the better striking. She's definitely more fluid, moves around, better striking. Ribas has excellent wrestling and offensive and defensive wrestling, and she's probably got the better jiu-jitsu by belt, but I don't see her subbing Cortez here. She can get held down on her back. There's a lot of things like, okay, so Cortez is going to be bigger, right? She's a natural. This fight's at 125. Ribas is staying up at 125 for this. She fought Jauregui in at 125 last fight. Looked fine, didn't look small, didn't look anything, but she's used to fighting at 115. Cortez is a big 125er as far as she's dropping and cutting a lot of weight to get to 125. So at fight time, she may have, a natural 5 to 7 pound advantage, and they're going to be grappling. So obviously that'll help. But is Cortez going to be able to land the takedowns? Because when Ribas gets taken down, like she got taken down against Jauregui or whatever in the first round, and she got held down like the whole round. So she kept trying submissions and stuff, but her get up game was terrible. So it's going to come down to can Cortez land 2 takedowns in this fight and get 2 rounds of control, or can Ribas keep it standing the whole time and outstrike her? And I'm going to say that Ribas gets taken down in that first round. There's a lot of grappling, whatever. But in the second round, if you watch a lot of Cortez's fights, she slows down in the second round. It's almost as if she takes the second round off, even against Gatto. It's almost, she was getting taken down against Gatto in the second round, but it's almost as she'll take the second round off, get a little of her energy back, come hard in the third, come hard in the third round, because I think the weight cut does really hurt her. She has problems making weight there. Like, she has a good win over Stephanie Edgar. You know what I mean? And Stephanie Edgar is a big girl and fights at 135 now, and she's just going to be bigger than Ribas. I'm going to say that Ribas by the second and third round can start stopping them shots, land some better striking, because Cortez's striking, it's not bad, but it's not great at all. She's way more robotic than Ribas. Ribas definitely has a way better like Muay Thai kickboxing style. So give me Ribas, and obviously I'm going to take her by decision. But dude, this fight's so close. I'm not betting it like that, because I cannot easily see Cortez coming out here, landing her takedowns and holding the smaller girl down. So that's why I like the line movement, flip-flopping. It's shocking to me, because it's like, dude, this is a real risky fight to be betting on, period. So
yeah, I couldn't. We're going to be opposite as far as our final pick on this one. I am picking Cortez to win. You're slightly on Ribas, but we're on the same side as far as this going to decision, being close, and not having action on it. If I do have any action on this, it'll be fight goes to split decision. I think you can probably get around plus 400 or so, plus 450 for something like this, I would imagine. I haven't looked at any books that have it. FanDuel sometimes has it. I know DraftKings does. And any other book that has like a high price on either of the two women winning by split or majority, you could just play a little bit on both and then average it out. But yeah, I mean, that's the only way I would play this fight. I think you're right. What it came down to for me is like the potential for a no betting situation where I look at literally like a pros cons list I'll write down of like, what are they each good at? Way more avenues of victory for Amanda Ribas, right? She's got the striking edge. She does have like the well-rounded, thing about her. More paths to victory. Usually I would like that. But Cortez, she just is relentless with the grappling, relentless with staying on top position. And at this weight class, you brought up the size difference. I think Cortez, if she gets it to her realm, it's just a matter of at what point in the round, because she'll stay there the entire time and rack up control time. So it's going to be the judges will be scratching their heads when it comes down to it, right? They're going to say, well, this one laid on top of the other for a total of 10 minutes out of 15, but the other one punched the other in the face. So one's going to have it for Ribas, one's going to have it for Cortez.
Right.
The last one's going to be flipping a coin. So, and they're all going to be perving out the whole time. So I can't judge. I can't judge them to make a proper call in this one.
I know, right? Yeah, it's all about camera angles on this one. The camera guys better be doing their job. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I mean, honestly though, what's the deal with the striking in this fight? Do you think Cortez? I mean, she looked really bad against Melissa Gatto as far as the striking went. Like it was either she looked bad, or I know Melissa Gatto's got some sting and some power on her punches, but Cortez, you would have assumed that she would have been way more competitive on the feet. It looked scary. It looked like Gatto, if it would have stayed standing, she would have gotten pieced up. Amanda Ribas, I do like her aggression. She has made some strides in her striking. And that's what really just makes me scared, because if Cortez wastes any time at all not going for the takedown, she's probably going to lose the fight, right? She'll be losing. She'll be losing at every point. It's on the feet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Ribas has a really good takedown defense. She really does have good takedown defense. But it's like, is that weight for Cortez being a little bigger going to help her, man?
And the takedown defense was against not like a pure wrestler, right?
Yeah, Jauregui, she has pretty good wrestling. I know, Mackenzie Dern tried to take her down. A
Those
couple other girls, but she's got good offensive and defensive wrestling, and her jiu-jitsu is good. But Cortez got excellent jiu-jitsu. That's going to be a wash. And then if it does hit the ground, Cortez is going to be on top. That's why it's so hard to pick this fight, man. And to bet on it on a money line is just, bro. You're gonna be just it's gambling. Betting this line is gambling over betting. You know what I mean? You can find way better spots.
Yeah, and this is a spot where it's a pick 'em for a reason, right? It's complete pick 'em. But
exactly.
If you're the type of person like I am usually and go for the athlete, the fighter with way more paths to victory, that's usually who I favor. I mean, that's the way I'd look at this. But I'm looking at, one girl is bigger. She's got the pure wrestling. If she can just control the whole time and not get swept, she should win the fight. That's just the way I'm feeling. Yeah. But since my mind and my gut feeling are different, I'm just not going to play the fight. But MMA Propaholic did a full in-depth video on this fight. He went 20 minutes or more on just this matchup. He went very in-depth with all their stats. And he's on Cortez via ground and pound. He thinks it's going to be that dominant. And I can see that based on the record, right? We have seen Amanda Ribas cracked before a couple of times by Viana.
But I think Cortez only has one finish in her whole career, though.
Yeah, so it's definitely a hot take, but I can see, the striking difference in skill will be nullified if one's on their back, right? And Cortez has got gravity on her size, throwing down those fists from the top position. So I thought that was an interesting take for my guy Propaholic. But let's see here. Who else we got on here? We got some Rob Lawrence with some Cortez love in the chat. We got Bianon with some Ribas love in the chat. We got Jenna Marie telling me to quit it. Maybe I was talking about the judges perfing out or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we got the whole Brian Ortega dating situation. Is that going to enhance the jiu-jitsu? I don't know. Probably not. I don't really consider those out of the cage things with too much merit, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm going with the decision for one of them.
If anything, that's a detriment, is it not? I mean, you're dating somebody you're in the gym with. Imagine the bickering that goes back and forth.
Right.
Imagine how unproductive that probably is. That's probably a detriment.
Rolling around making out and shit.
Or even worse, you're just fighting and one just storms out of the gym. Brian Ortega's an asshole, and then Cortez just says, "Fuck this! I'm not going to finish practice. I'm going home." Right
today. Yeah.
Who knows?
Do they train together though? Because Cortez trains at Fight Ready or something. One of them in Arizona, I believe, and then I think she trains at Fight Ready, and I don't know if Ortega trains there.
We gotta have my guy Mike Couch Warrior podcast in here, dude. He stalks everybody and where they train.
Yeah, I think it could have changed by now. You'd think they would train together. Why wouldn't you?
Mushroom saying Cortez couldn't finish one of my lunches. If you follow Mushroom on Twitter, you know that she would not make this weight class if she was finishing his lunches.
No, he's got the best food in the game, bro. He makes me hungry and jealous every day.
As somebody who eats 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, man, I respect Mushrooms. I respect his diet.
Yeah, I wanted to tell him on his Twitter that I ordered through what is it, Gold Belly. I ordered the Pat's cheesesteaks, but I thought he would laugh at me because it's not. They make them the day before and send them, and they were bomb. But you know what I mean. It's not the real thing. I guess is going there.
Him and Lou Bet would just clown you for not being from Philadelphia, and they'd call you a moron. Yeah. All right, moving on. So that was our first one that we disagreed with slightly, but we agree it's going to be greasy at least and probably go over. Moving up, this is a fight that you really liked here.
I hope it's greasy.
Yeah, right. You really like this one at 145. Moving up a weight class again, Darren Elkins and Jonathan Pearce, JSP. Young versus old matchup in effect here. Darren Elkins has been around for a while, man. 27-10 record. This guy's been fighting in the UFC, I want to say, since 2010 or 11. Something like that. He actually wrestled at the college I went to, sort of around the time. Yeah, he left around the time that I was starting college there. And they have a decent college program there for wrestling. It was a D2. So I think he ended up just quitting and just pursuing mixed martial arts. That's around the time he got the call to come to the UFC. So he'd already been fighting pro on the side. And yeah, Darren Elkins, man, he's the guy who just gets the shit knocked out of him pretty much left and right. And a lot of the time he can come back and win, right? But lately, a lot of the time, it looks like his durability is fading, man. I got to say, I'm not really high on Darren Elkins in this spot. I do like Jonathan Pearce. He did scare me, JSP, against Christian Rodriguez, who came in on short notice. That scared me a little bit because I had a lot invested on JSP.
He almost got
He looked like he was getting tired. Yeah. But was that JSP looking terrible, or was that Rodriguez actually looking good? Because now Rodriguez is like 3-1 favorites over guys. So
I think it's that.
Yeah, it might have been that. It might have been a little bit of both. But JSP, first fighter I'm parlaying here I got a big 3-fight parlay for this card. I'm trusting in JSP to be the better grappler in this spot, at least be good enough on the feet to provide some sort of damage to Darren Elkins, who I think is fading. And when your main thing in Darren Elkins at 38 is being durable and losing until you win, can't bet on that. So do I think he should be this big of an underdog? Probably not. I mean, the odds now are at -500, -450 for Jonathan Pearce. Insane numbers. Darren Elkins around +375, the underdog. Look, if you're going to bet Darren Elkins, probably bet him by decision, I'd want to say, right? Like he would have to pull off something really crafty. I don't think he's going to finish JSP. How do you feel about this one? You riding with the dog here? I know you're a big Elkins fan.
Elkins is one of my favorite fighters because my favorite fighters are junkyard dogs, dude. The dudes that are going to fight you to the death. I'm not picking him here because I do, you know what I mean? I do think that Jonathan Pearce is younger. They do the same things. Jonathan Pearce is going to be a little younger and probably a little better. But the thing is, man, I don't think that his durability's gone away. He got knocked out by Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson's got that crazy striking. He was just so much faster. But as far as what this fight's going to be, a grappling match, I'm taking JSP. I'm going to take him by decision. I bet the over 2.5. I don't see JSP finishing Elkins as far as TKO. Elkins only been TKO'd. He don't get ground and pounded out. He gets dropped in the air by Cub Swanson. He got finished by Chad Mendez, who has serious power in his hands, and then he got ground. Right? His own. That's the thing. If I see JSP winning this fight on the ground, because this fight is gonna be on the ground. JSP's no knockout guy standing up. This fight's gonna be on the ground, and Darren Elkins has just as good as wrestling. Darren Elkins is just as big as Pearce. Pearce had a huge size advantage over a lot of the guys he's fighting at 145. He's 6 foot with the 71-inch reach. Darren Elkins 5'10", 71-inch reach. Their wrestling is going to be pretty much about the same, in my opinion. I mean, Tristan Connolly's the same size as Jonathan Pearce. And I'm not saying they got the same wrestling and all that, but they definitely
Tristan Connolly though, man, that guy was washed.
Yeah, but he's got cardio too. The thing is like if I see JSP finishing this fight, it's going to be by sub, right? That's I don't see him because Darren Elkins doesn't just let you hold him down and let you beat him up on the ground. Like he's constantly going to his hips, he's constantly trying to get up, he's constantly moving. But he's only been submitted one time, and that was 13 years ago. Who got him? Charles Oliveira. Right? Yeah. Charles fucking Oliveira. 13 years ago. He's been submitted one time in 37 fights. So JSP, I don't think submitting him. You've seen him in there with Ryan Hall. You've seen him in there with Derek Minner. You know what I mean? You've seen him in there with good ground guys. Mirsad Bektik. Yeah. These guys can't finish him. Alexander Volkanovski didn't even finish him a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? Like he's solid. If anything, he's a junkyard dog. This fight's going to be grappling a lot. Darren Elkins probably will be losing them. Say JSP takes his back, burns some time, but Darren Elkins is constantly moving. He's not going to get held down and beat up. I really like the over. I didn't put JSP in no parlays because the price is so high, dude. And this is a tough fight. If you don't get Elkins out of there, you better, like you said, we've seen him slow down a little bit against a super small Rodriguez. You can't slow down against Darren Elkins, dude.
That fight does bother me. You know, luckily he made up for it in his last fight, but that one did scare me a bit.
And Makwan Americani took him down 3 times. You know what I mean? Darren Elkins is going to be able to maybe land his own takedowns. He's got good wrestling, you know. Jonathan Pearce finished Kai Kamaka, Omar Morales, and who's the other one, the last one? Makwan Americani. They all almost made it to the 3rd round, and Darren Elkins has more heart than all 3 of them guys put together. You know what I mean? Makwan had looked for a way out of a fight every time. Morales has been getting finished, and Kai Kamaka just got overwhelmed. He's just like a little smaller, and he's not really all that great. I think Jonathan Pearce wins a very, very, very tough decision. I don't know if he dominates Elkins for 3 rounds. I think Elkins still got cardio. I think Elkins got the toughness to not get ground and pounded out by Pearce. Like I said, he's going to be around the same size because Pearce, you see with like Kai Kamaka, dude, even Makwan, like he's a lot bigger than these guys, you know. So when he grapples them, he's just like a lot bigger, a lot more dominating. But he's not going to do all that to Elkins. Like he's going to get some takedowns. These guys are going to be scrambling, dude. Watch Elkins fight Bektic, any of them guys that are grapplers, and he does good. He holds his own. So give me the over. Take Jonathan Pearce by decision. To give me the over. I'll bet the over. I love it.
Damn, the over. Did you bet the over, or you plan on betting it?
I bet the over.
You bet the over. What was the odds?
Minus 105. Minus 105. I love it.
I mean, yeah, you're earning that. You're earning. I mean, that's supposed to be an even money play. I can't hate that. Again, for a 145-pound fight, I can't hate anybody playing a close to even money over. That's going to be scary, dude.
But like, how do you see JSP like finishing him? Like by stand-up strikes or by like on ground and pound, or you know what I mean?
One. After seeing the Cub Swanson fight last year, either one. I just
but
feel like
JSP ain't Cub Swanson though. You know what I mean? Like Cub Swanson's got good.
But I don't think it was as much Cub Swanson as it was just in a lot of his recent fights. Darren Elkins just looks super hesitant to get hit or even exchange like on the feet. He just looks really awkward. He's always looked like an awkward guy, but he used to have the confidence to power forward, drop his shoulder, throw something big. Now he just looks very awkward and almost lethargic out there, even early on in a fight.
But
his durability is scaring me. I don't hate anybody taking an even money play almost on an over in a featherweight fight, but I hope it lasts for you, man. That's going to be and look, as somebody who has a lot invested on parlaying JSP, I hope he takes his time and gives the respect to Darren Elkins. You know, I hope he doesn't get in there and go into a brawl and wear himself out trying to get Homer Simpson out of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's at fight. That's another thing. He's at fight ready. And you know, Cejudo and them have the greatest game plans. They're going to come in and be like, dude, don't go in here and try to fit. This dude don't get finished. Like Elkins really don't get finished. Like I said, Mendez got him. Oliveira got him like 13 years ago. And yeah, Cub got him. But I think that Cub just took off on him right away. And I just think that JSP, he's a grappler and stuff. He ain't like a striker like that. Like he ain't throwing no spinning wheel kick and hitting like cracking Elkins like I know he better not now. But yeah, man.
We're throwing spinning shit now.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think he got hit with a spinning kick by Ryan Hall and dropped though. If we're gonna keep it real, but he's tough, man. He doesn't get finished in like you know what I mean. Like you get some fighters that get hit real hard, boom, they get dropped and they just turtle up or whatever. They get in a bad position on the ground and get in a guillotine. Go look at this stuff. Minner had Elkins in some pretty tough spots in that first round because he went all out before he gassed. Dude, Elkins surviving that. And they're going to be grappling, and I'm not saying that Pearce ain't going to be winning most of the grappling exchanges, but there's not if Makwan Americani took him down 3 times, you can't tell me that Elkins ain't going to get on top in this fight once or twice.
Elkins has seen the depths of hell that JSP has never been to yet, and he's come out the other side of it.
And we got to see if JSP can do that. That's why I didn't put him in no parlays, lines wide. But we got to see, man, if JSP is the junkyard dog that Elkins is. Because remember what happened to Masad Bektic, who fucked Elkins up for 2 rounds in 1 minute, and then as soon as he started slowing down, dude, junkyard dog came out. So
that's true, man.
I'm not shitting on nobody's JSP parlays. I do think
going on 5.5 years ago, man, on that Masad Bektic fight. But same guy still exists, same heart still exists, and
I just think it's gonna be a grappling.
Don't change, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. This is the biggest step up in competition that Darren Elkins has had in a long time. You know that he hasn't lost.
Joe Lozon. Lozon put it on him.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
He caught him early standing up.
Like the last point is like Darren Elkins has won 3 of his last 4, but again, Tristan Connolly no longer there. Derek Minner, I don't think he's going to fight again in the UFC. Luis Garagori, that guy's been out of the UFC for a while. So all the wins he's had since 2018, they're no longer there anymore. But even Tristan Connolly is no longer. He's not even winning outside the UFC anymore.
Right, but Tristan Connolly and who's the one before that? You said Minner. Yeah, they're both fight like JSP though. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And this kind of fight for Elkins in a grappling match where he's not just, slow striking in a grappling match, reversals, ground and pound in a 15-minute grappling match, dude. That's Darren Elkins' world. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he survives it. Yeah. He's been a team alpha male forever. Yeah. He's a
and that might be part of the strategy. That does kind of, now that you're talking me through it, that might lead to your overbet cashing because that might be built into the game plan of JSP, right? Jonathan Pearce might say, look, his coach is probably like, you're not going to finish this guy early. Don't even try. Let's just be economical with our energy.
Yes, be smart. And it could go position over submission, because one guy in 37 fights, Darren Elkins got submitted 13 years ago by Oliveira. One guy, only Oliveira, the most submissions in the UFC has ever submitted this guy. And in my mind, I just don't see JSP ground and pounding Darren Elkins out. I see a lot of grappling. I see, like, when he gets Elkins in a bad position where he gets some ground pound, Elkins getting to a hip, going the other way. And he's never going to give up. Elkins ain't going to be like, fuck, I'm in a bad position, I'm getting beat up, let me give up this guillotine. He'll be third round with 1 minute left in the deepest guillotine in the world. He's going to fight you through it, use his own blood to get out that mofo. So
I like that.
That's what I'm hoping.
I like that instead of betting the underdog price on Elkins, who you're making a lot of points for, you just bet the over as his win condition. I like that. I mean, what's Darren Elkins by? We're going on this fight way too long, but what's Darren Elkins by decision? That's got to be something crazy, probably close to like.
Yeah, and he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop JSP unless the JSP gas slows down and Elkins gets on top of him in the third and starts, because dude, Darren Elkins got unlimited motor, man. Even in his older age, he's a little slower, but he's still got that motor.
Darren Elkins by points, 6 plus 650. I'm sure you could do better than that in some books. That's right around where I would line it, to be honest. If I wanted to get extra, a fair price for it, plus 650 by points on BetOnline. I'm sure other books will have that closer to plus 1,000. But yeah, all right. So we're on the same pick here, but you're giving me you talked me onto the over. I'm not going to bet it because that's going to be a scary proposition for a guy that old. But
right.
Moving on to a similar spot where we've got young versus old. Yet again, this common theme at 155. Michael Johnson has been around for I think as long as Darren Elkins has. Taking on Mark Diakese, who is 29 years old, shockingly, for Mark Diakese. The large favorite here once again, Mark Diakese. Somewhere close to 3-1 odds is the favorite, I want to say. I'm looking at minus 305 on a lot of books. Probably the best you can do is minus 300 at this point. That's swung to his favor. He's been looking great lately. Mark Diakese's been wrestling a lot, getting 8 takedowns against Damir Hadzovic, like a dozen against Vyacheslav Borshev, and man, as a fan, very boring fight style for Mark Diakese, who's got power to knock people out. But as a bettor, back up the Brinks truck in this guy, because he is paying out tickets as a parlay piece. And Michael Johnson has got the power early. A lot of these guys on these prelims, power early, fade late, give up takedowns. Coming off that very close split decision loss to Malarkey, where once again, Michael Johnson knocked down Malarkey early, got knocked down himself, and totally undid the progress in that round and lost a close split decision. So Michael Johnson's always screwing things up, man. If you're going to bet Mark Diakese live after round one, might be a look, but you're risking him just taking Michael Johnson down from the get-go, and you can't cash that bet after that. But Michael Johnson probably can crack him early. I don't think he wins this fight. I think the line makes sense to me as a 3-1 favorite here for the younger guy by like 7 years, the guy who's employing a heavy wrestling takedown game plan. Yeah, I don't know about Michael Johnson in this one, man. The guy was exciting for a long time. He's got such a weird resume, Michael Johnson. Like, he beat a lot of really good guys early. People started to figure him out. He had a lot of just like really bad luck mixed with bad, I don't even know what you call it. I don't even know if it's bad fight IQ, just like a bad break a lot of the time, like
terrible fight IQ.
Yeah,
and Andy quits. Andy quits. He used to,
I think he's
anyways.
One of those guys where you see that common pattern with all the collegiate wrestlers, right? Where they wrestle their way into being a good athlete in mixed martial arts. They get a couple of really good knockouts, and they're like, "Oh shit, I don't have to wrestle. I can just knock him out." And then they don't do either. They look for the kill shot at 155. It's not going to come. Give me Mark Diakese to win by decision here. What do you think about this one? I got no bet on this fight yet.
Yeah, man. I'm with you on that. Michael Johnson is 20-18. Him and Angela Hill on the same card is kind of funny. Both of them got that same record. Yeah, but
the Lou bet you bar fight record.
Exactly. He said I'm 50-50 at the bar. Yeah, man. Michael Johnson, his win condition in this fight is going to be the KO. He hasn't KO'd anybody, I believe he has 1 KO in the last 5.5 years, and that's over Alan Patrick. It might even be 6.5 years. The last one before that was like Poirier. He's older. He's slower than he used to be. Mark Diakese has phenomenal kickboxing. So I mean, like that's his actual skill. So I don't. He's never been knocked out. So I don't see Michael Johnson knocking him out. I think Diakese is going to be able to stand with him. We've seen Clay Guida outstrike Michael Johnson 2 fights ago for him. Like he literally outstruck him, barely took him down in the fight. Mark Diakese is going to be able to outstrike him if he wants to. It'd be dangerous, obviously dumb to just stay standing with Michael Johnson, especially in the first round. But yeah, man, I'm with you. I expect Diakese to come out and use that new wrestling grind on Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's easy to be taken down. Darren Elkins got to finish over him. Stevie Ray was able to take him down. Like he can be taken down, especially when he starts slowing down. My only thing, like I got Diakese. My only thing is that like sometimes when Michael Johnson, his grappling gas tank's terrible. So sometimes when guys do really grapple him, he'll gas out and slow down and get finished, almost give up, like against Darren Elkins and a couple other fighters. So Diakese, I don't think he's ever had a sub. I don't know. He might have had a sub or something, but I don't know if he's had too many. But I think that Diakese easily gets this win. I think he has the good stand up with him, and then I think that he's able to take him down to and control him and burn some clock, stay safe. So give me Diakese, most likely by decision. I got him into my one progressive parlay with Yasmin and RDA coming up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're kind of building up as well a series of parlays, heavy investment at the top parlay, and maybe going down in your investment as they go on, right?
Learned it from you, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a common thing. A lot of people. I got it from like the football game. I know CJ Safdie from the Dogger Pass podcast.
Yeah,
he does one like every week. Yeah, he does one like every week, and it's very high risk, high reward. But yeah, I mean, I've learned that from people doing that in football and stuff like that. I see them just parlaying games together as they go on, because games are throughout the week, so you can build up a stack and hedge out if you're doing very well. So you can do the same on a fight card as well. So we pretty much broke that one down. It's a 3-1 favorite. The thing is, all of the names that you mentioned, like Stevie Ray, Thiago Moises, even like the Justin Gaethje fight, all of these things that Michael Johnson has lost, he was doing very well when the fight started, and then it falls apart. So even in this fight with Mark Diakese, you can pretty much just pucker your butthole with your bet for like one round, and then you're good for rounds 2 and 3. You're pretty much safe. So shout out to Bunny Hunter 09 in the chat joining us. Along with the great Victor J. De Jesus.
My boy.
Working, busy as hell at work, can't chat much, but he's listening. Yes, he's shouting everybody else out in the chat as well. And shout out to the other 36 people in the live chat. Hit the like and subscribe. And you can follow Cody at BloodMoneyMMABets. All of his links are in the description. Go ahead and give my boy a follow. If you live under a rock and you don't already, this guy's on a crazy win streak. What are you at now? Like 11 out of 12 weeks profitable?
Yeah. It's 11 out of 12 or 12 out of 13. It's hard to keep track anymore.
It's hard to keep track when you're sitting on piles of money.
But but I'm still pissed, dude, because I hate saying it like that. It's not about the money. It's about the principles. And I should be on like a 12 or 13
Khalil Roundtree.
Fucking round cartridge. Bro, it makes me so mad because and it took the bad judging, and it took the blew out knee for Cater. But yeah, man, been killing it. A lot of winning weeks, just been putting in really good, smart bets, staying away from the parlays, even though I got 2 in this week. But I feel like the fighters this week have, clear path to victory.
And I think you've got a strong opinion about this next fight, too. I'll let you kick off Clay Guida versus Scott Holtzman another 155-pound bout in a row. Clay Guida, the Carpenter, he's been around for a long time, since the WEC days. 37 wins, 22 losses. Scott Holtzman, 14-5. Both guys kind of in the same boat as far as their age and just their tenure with the promotion, right? Like Clay Guida's done so much more in his career at the same age, but he's 40 years old, almost 41. Scott Holtzman, 39. So again, I credit the UFC for giving Clay Guida these matchups where it's, kind of an aged guy that he sort of has a chance to beat, at least competitively. It's not just like they're not giving him to the wolves here anymore.
Right.
But kick this one off at lightweight, man. What's your view on this fight? I think the odds are somewhere around like a plus 130-ish on Clay Guida? Am I looking at that right?
Yeah, I seen Holtzman.
It's raised. We're looking at Scott Holtzman minus 180-ish. Guida about plus 150 or more. So kick it.
Yeah, man, I was shocked and happy. When I did the breakdown, when I did my tape and everything for this fight, I actually went into it thinking, man, I'm going to bet Clay Guida. He was like plus 170. Holtzman was minus 200 at the time. I said, man, Clay Guida's going to have a shot at this. I did tape, man, and dude, everybody, I tell you, bet Scott Holtzman. You can parlay this dude. He's going to beat Clay Guida. Yeah, no, he's going to be probably, 10 to 15 pounds bigger than Clay. Scott's a huge 155, dude. Like he looks 170 when he fights. You're going to see that at weigh-ins tomorrow. I think everybody's going to be kind of shocked. He's only 2 inches taller, it says, but dude, I'm telling you, he's a thick dude for 155. He's got if you go watch the Jim Miller fight, dude, he's got the wrestling to keep this standing, especially with the size and weight advantage. Wrestling to keep this standing. He can clinch Clay up against the cage, beat him up there. He has the better striking. He has the more powerful striking. I really don't see where Clay wins this fight. Clay's going to have to be moving around striking. He's just going to be taking the bigger shots, dude. He's getting the biggest thing, everybody. This is the biggest thing. Go put your money on Holtzman, is that he's got the cardio to keep up with Clay, if not beat Clay. Like he's got the cardio, good cardio. Very strong. He's got everything that you need to beat Clay. He's very strong, excellent cardio, can stop Clay's wrestling, and he can outstrike him, and he's going to be landing with power. I'm with Mushroom. I like that Holtzman 3rd round or decision. I really do think, maybe a cumulative damage, Holtzman can get him out of there. Holtzman hits hard, man. Way better variety of strikes. Yeah, give me Holtzman, and I'm super confident in this by most likely decision, but he could get him out of there. But I don't see where Clay beats him, man. I don't see Clay taking him down and holding him down. Holtzman, if he gets taken down, great get-up game. You got a lot of recency bias here because Holtzman's on a 2-fight losing streak. Well, he lost to Beneil Dariush and Mateus Gamrot, and what would them guys do to Clay Guida? You know what I mean? So it's the size for me. It's the size, it's the wrestling, the defensive wrestling, and it's the cardio. So give me Scott Holtzman, man, and I'm heavy on him. I think he's one of the best picks of this card. He's gonna look minus 300 at the end of this fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your points, for most of them. I am picking Clay Guida as an underdog on this card, but it's super low confidence. I ended up on his side. It's low confidence as hell. I would want a lot more plus money on Clay Guida at 40, almost 40. Like a week away from 41?
41 hits it, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I like his active schedule. I do like his wrestling game plan in this fight, and there's a chance, but it would have to be more of a plus money chance for me to bet it that he can actually out-wrestle Scott Holtzman. Because Holtzman has the better of wrestling over some caliber of opponents, ones that usually aren't in the UFC anymore. Otherwise, he's getting taken down. The Jim Miller fight was kind of an exception to that because I think he did very well in that one. He could replicate that game plan here, maybe outpace Clay Guida, certainly probably outstrike him on the feet, but the active schedule of Clay Guida has been phenomenal, He's been holding his own against some solid level of competition. Even the one you mentioned when we talked about Michael Johnson, again, just able to stick to a game plan there and wear down a decent guy, right? And even strike with him. So I like Clay Guida. There's going to be a few underdogs that come through on this card. Low confidence. Out of 15 fights, I marked this one as 13 out of 15 as far as confidence goes for Clay Guida. So super low down. There's only a couple of people I think are more unreliable than that, but yeah, I don't disagree with your bet on this one. I'm not as confident in Scott Holtzman just because he hasn't been around in a while, right? So you are saying there is some recency bias against him, and I think that's true. Mateusz Gamrot and Beneil Dariush, 2 savages. Before that, the guy was inactive a little bit before that as well. We're only looking at a couple of fights that date back to 2020, 2019. He was still fighting, guys like Michael McBride, Daryl Horcher, Alan Patrick. So it's like, what am I learning from these fights? Now he's lasted.
The Jim Miller one. The
Jim Miller one was nice. That was
we'll
nice.
Show you for this fight. That was the main one that showed me how this could go.
That was the diamond in the rough that stuck out when I went through and remembered who Scott Holtzman was. Because it's been a while, Normally, the guy he's been the past few years has just been like a highlight reel for Beneil Dariush and Cameron.
For other people,
basically, that's about it. But he's held his own pretty well against some decent guys. But his wins, not impressing me. But yeah, I mean, again, what's the big weakness in Clay Guida's game as far as at this point in his career? It's probably going to be striking volume, right? Accuracy and volume.
Power,
right? He's not going to be at risk of ending the fight. So Clay Guida's going to have to rinse and repeat takedowns and somehow outstrike his opponent.
Bigger dude. On a way bigger dude.
Yeah,
so good. Like against Jim Miller, dude. Jim Miller's a big dude. He's a big 155er, good size. Dude, Scott Holtzman just muscled him the whole fight, all 3 rounds, beat him up in the striking. He took Jim Miller down. Like he might even be able to take Clay down. So I'm I'm heavy on Holtzman. I was shocked. I got him at minus 155. I just kept watching that line.
I'm shocked that you like this spot so much. I'm actually it makes me feel like I'm totally missing something. It's a 41-year-old man, but I mean Scott Holtzman, like what's he got left? I don't know. We're going back a little bit now. We're going back almost 3 years for the Jim Miller fight at this point.
But I mean, Clay Guida got outstruck by fucking Madsen. Marco Madsen. He got outstruck.
They had that really weird fight where nobody really wrestled at all.
Yeah, and Marco I mean, I really think that this is a good, it's the size and the strength and everywhere that Guida can shine to win this fight, Holtzman's going to be able to shut it down. And I think he's going to be able to clinch Guida up against the cage. He throws hard, dude. Scott Holtzman hits hard, man. He's a big, strong dude. And I'm just not high on Clay anymore. Clay needs to be able to fight a guy that he can take down and beat up, or that don't have really, really good striking, where he can, because like in the Michael Johnson fight, Michael Johnson, I think, was so worried about getting taken down that he was getting hit with shots, where Clay was faking a takedown. So like, I don't think Holtzman's got better takedown defense. I don't think he's going to be as worried about that. He can put some heat on Clay. And like I said, even if Clay gets him down, Holtzman pops right back up, and he's so big. I mean, I'm telling you, Holtzman's going to be a 10, 15 pounds bigger than Clay on fight night. He looks like a full 170er when he fights, man. And I looked at his Instagram.
I can't wait for these weigh-ins tomorrow, man.
Holtzman looks great on Instagram too. I seen he put up where he's doing his UFC stuff, and fucking great shape, dude. Big dude.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's a guy who we haven't seen a whole lot of lately. Excited to see Scott Holtzman. Always excited to see Clay Guida. He's a fan favorite for sure. Been around forever. See what he's got left. Clay Guida is a guy where he's got to take you into deep water to win. The thing about Clay Guida that might be good, might be bad. I'm not sure. It depends. It's totally subjective, but he used to get in these wars and really get in people's face aggressively. He took a lot of damage, but sometimes that would wear down his opponent. He could come out the victor, right? He's kind of like got this risk-adverse style now at 40 years old, where he
moving a lot of stuff.
He moves a lot. He tries to, he doesn't get into big brawling wars anymore. He'll just try to kind of rinse and repeat with the takedowns. Either it works or it doesn't. So we'll see if it works against Scott Holtzman. Cody's super confident on Scott Holtzman. Laid down a couple units on it. How confident are you in this one?
3.1 to win 2.
Okay,
man. I would like to put more.
This is the biggest, one of the bigger money lines.
I'm going to start doing like more of a max bet type bet too, because I keep my bets all in a certain money range. But I would like to. I would have liked to put more in on Holtzman. I'm super confident. I just don't see any path to victory for Clay here, other than like moving around the outside and landing a shot and staying away, because it's that size advantage for me, boys.
I'm not really, like I said, out of 15 fights, Clay Guida is like 13th as far as confidence level goes for me, but I am picking him as an underdog. But yeah, I'm glad you found a spot that you're confident to hammer on this card, and Scott Holtzman. And those are the spots. I got to get better at this as a sports bettor as well. When I'm confident on the side, really just buckling down and like putting the money behind it, like a 3-unit bet. Not bad. So yeah, we got a few people coming into the chat here. The Dab Father, what's up? We got Yoel Romero's left trap. This card is low-key a banger. It sure is.
It is.
Yoda's Wolf is in the chat as well. And shout out to LeBron Games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our guy Dev, MMA Jesus 316.
What is up?
Shout out Dev the dude on YouTube. Go subscribe to my boy putting out breakdowns.
One more second. I drank.
And he likes Clay Guida, dude. What do you know? You're going against our boy Dev here. All right, so yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Bunny Hunter. Like, I got to take an extra look at that one too. A guy like Cody is confident as hell on the side. I mean, I didn't think Scott Holtzman was anything to really take too much of a second look at, just because it's been so long. But again, Clay Guida, not enough plus money for me to take a stab on that side either. But moving right along, we're still in the prelims. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us on a Thursday night. I'm accommodating my guy Cody's schedule tonight. Usually I do these on Wednesdays, but actually a side note, the next 2 weeks in a row, the streams will be on Tuesday nights. Be having Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast next week for the pay-per-view on Tuesday night. And then Manpreet from MMA Lock of the Night will be the following week. And those will be the last 2 guests of the year. So both on Tuesday nights coming up. But moving right along, you guys, we have Angela Hill taking on Emily Ducote. We're back down at women's 115, women's strawweight. This is a spot where I think I might have gotten a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm going to try to talk myself back onto the confidence here. I do have a money line bet on Emily Ducote, 1.2 units to win 1 at minus 120 odds over Angela Hill. a better like me and somebody who just loves the sport, like I'm always going sort of biased towards the side of experience, right? And you don't get more of an experience discrepancy than this fight, where Angela Hill has 20 more UFC fights than Emily Ducote, who's coming in here for the second time. But again, Angela Hill getting up there in age, completely, almost 50-50 record at 14-12. Just snapped a 3-fight losing streak. I like everything I see from Emily Ducote. She's making improvements, which is a great thing I see. Coming off of, the Invicta, where she won the belt with one of the most spectacular knockouts over a former UFC fighter in Danielle Taylor. I mean, that was an epic knockout. Can't get that one out of my head. That was like knockout of the year potential for sure. And I think she doesn't really go to the wrestling that much, but I hope she does it in this fight. Again, if you're getting a battle with Angela Hill, her record really tells you how these fights play out, right? Probably going to go to decision. It's probably going to be close. It's going to be a coin toss, and she's either going to have a 15-12 record or a 14-13 record at the end of it. So it's going to be – but that being said, you're going to fall into one of two very broad categories. Either you're good enough to beat her at this age, which a lot of women are, or you're not. So I think Emily Ducote has shown the improvements fight to fight. She's got the youth, and she's got very good striking that I think can really put some good damage and sting on those punches, where Angela Hill, people never have to respect her stopping power, right? They're able to march forward and outstrike her. So I hope Emily Ducote shows us a little bit more to her aggression and especially the wrestling game, powers forward or maybe clinches up, looks for a takedown. So like I said, small bet, 1.2 units on Emily Ducote at -120. But again, that whenever I look at that big discrepancy in experience, man, it really makes me like hate that I made the bet. So how do you feel about this one?
This is definitely another one that's like, I got to stay far away from. Obviously,
see, I wish I did, man.
Yeah, because it's going to be so close. It's going to be so close. I picked Angela Hill. I'm not betting it. Like you were saying, I like the experience. I like how she looked against Lupi. I just think it's going to be super, super close. Another big thing is when I watched the fight live with Panay between Ducote, and when I rewatched it, like Panay is a grappler all around with kind of terrible striking, and she took one round on two of the judges' scorecards, just in a striking match. So that makes me think that if she can take one, Hill can get one or two. Ducote is definitely well-rounded. She's got that wrestling background. She's got good striking. She's got, I think, the better technical striking. She's definitely she's got good cardio, really good toughness. She's got great leg kicks, and Angela Hill don't know how to check a leg kick to save her life. So that could be a whole nother problem here for Hill. I don't blame anybody taking either side of this fight. This is kind of one where I watched it. I basically took Hill as my pick based off the experience, because I think they're both basically the same. It's just that Hill's been in there with some really good girls, seen it all, very tough. It's going to be very close. It's like you said, it's probably going to be a split decision. And from the record, it's probably going to go against Hill, because she just seems to never be able to win a split decision. With all her split decisions, she could be like 19-7, if she won all of her split decisions. So is what it is. I'm going to stay away from
7-19.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she's so I mean, 14-12, like you said, man, the fight's going to be close. It's going to be tough. I hope Ducote wins, just because she's the more up and coming prospect and all that. But dude, this fight's most likely going to be a standing fight, and it's most likely going to be tit for tat the whole fight. So give me Hill in a close decision. No confidence, no bets. Obviously, the over looks really good. Ducote can finish fights, like you said. And the Invicta, dude, her head kicks are sick. She's got some nice stuff. So, I mean, everything probably favors Ducote. She's 10 years younger. I'm gonna be honest too. I did put in this. This is another personal parlay I tried, and I put in. I want to try, and I'm not tracking it because I picked Hill, but like I want to see how the stats say different. I put in a parlay, and I call it the 10-year age difference parlay. I put 0.5 units on it, and this, like I said, it ain't tracked. Just something I wanted to put in. It's Kevin Holland. Even if I don't agree with them to win, but it's Kevin Holland, Emily Ducote, and Francis Marshall, because they're all 10 years, pretty much 10 years younger than their opponents. And it's something crazy, like 70% win percentage for the people that are like 10 years younger than their opponents. So I put that in, and I do think they can all win. I picked Angela Hill as a pick. Dude, no confidence. Ducote could win this. Hill could win it. I would stay away. I would just stay away from it as betting it, other than, maybe parlaying the over.
Yeah. Again, I'm not proud of that bet. When I look at the metric 10 years younger, then I'm proud of it. But when I look at all of it's going to go to decision most likely, then I'm just like, shit. What have I done? What have I done?
Right.
But shout out to
I've done
Mitchell
that
Reyes here going to Orlando. He can't wait.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome, dude. Enjoy
Hell
that fight
yeah.
card. That's a banger of a fight card.
Great card to go to, dude. Such a great card.
That's awesome. And my boys Carson and Lane from Broke Bets. I had the pleasure of meeting these two guys at Bellator 288 recently in Chicago. They're like in the plus 350 for a split decision on this one. Maybe something fun to follow. I wrote that down. That's certainly one. Just like the other, just like Cortez and Ribas, expecting a split there as well.
100. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're going to be close, man.
Shout out to Uncle Wheezy, my boy. What's going on, Unc?
What's up, Wheezy?
Cheers, my boy. And I got to watch. Luckily, I got off work tomorrow, so I'm going to be able to watch not only Uncle Wheezy's show, but Broke Bets' show and everybody else. I got a day to catch up on all the content that I've missed. It's been a busy week at work. Normally, sometimes at work, I'll be listening as I'm doing things, but it's just been so busy this week. I've fallen behind. So, Rob Lawrence, goddamn right. Show Uncle Wheezy some fucking respect, man. The guy's a legend.
I'm mad because I always was on all of Wheezy's live shows, like commenting and stuff. And at work, I haven't got no internet reception for like 5 months. So when I get on, it just buffers. But I try to still get on everybody's show, and it just sucks, man. Work, but it's all going to be changing for me at work here in a month. So we'll see.
Yeah, you get that nice schedule too, right? Going to a better shift.
I hope so. And then I won't be pressed for time, and I'll be able to do it because like I got a lot of people on Twitter and stuff asking me to do their shows and stuff, and I want to do their shows. Like I would love to do them, but it's like it's so tough, man, with work and the different stuff I got to do. So, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah,
I know, and a lot of people are on the late shifts too with doing like streams and stuff like that. It's like always the late night shows, and there's only a few people that really do it during the day. So
anybody,
I'm one of the night owls. Like anything after 5 p.m. through 5 a.m., I'm down to do it. I'll cut out the sleep, but it's a rough schedule.
Yeah, for sure. You're always up, man.
Yeah, man. As long as there's fights to watch, fights to tape, stats to study, I can't go to sleep. How do I sleep at night when there's sweet mixed martial arts to watch?
So much stuff.
Uncle Weezy say I'm not worthy. You guys keep up the great work. We're not worthy of you. But moving on to the next bout here, we finally have, I think, the last prelim fight here: Niko Price versus Phil Rowe. 170-pound bout. Two guys that are really big for the division too. And good records. Philip Rowe 9-3, a little bit more untested here. He's coming into, I think, his fourth UFC fight at this point. Niko Price been around for quite some time at 15-5. This is an interesting fight, and I do have a money line bet, just a 1-unit stab on the underdog Philip Rowe in this spot. But as far as how this plays out, man, kick this one off for us. You can start here.
Yeah, this is another one of these on the 15 I would stay away from just for the pure fact that, man, who knows what's going to happen in this fight? They both, like, Niko Price is a madman. He hasn't been fighting as crazy lately, but he's usually a madman. I think his last 3 fights have gone to decision, where every fight before that had finished. But good power in his hands, not a technical striker. He's been showing decent wrestling, and he's got decent grappling. A lot of times early in his career, he'd be getting taken down, though, actually. Like, even Randy Brown, when he was able to knock him out, he was on his back, hit him with a hammer fist. Philip Rowe, obviously good long striking. Dude's huge for the division, 6'3", 85 or 80.5 inch reach. He's going to have a 4.5 inch reach, 3 inch height advantage. I don't like that he can be taken down. And he doesn't really use a good get up game. And I don't think he'll sub Niko, but I don't think Nico's really going to out wrestle him for all 3 rounds. I think this is going to be striking, man. But I think the striking can be even. I think Niko can do enough to survive, not get put out by Philip. And then I think that he's going to have the wrestling advantage. When it goes to the ground, I think he can be on top and he can grind out rounds. I just don't like how Philip Rowe doesn't, try to get up too much. He tries to use more of his submissions and stuff. And I know he's looked good with his last 2 knockouts, but that's over low level competition compared to Niko Price, like Orion Cosey and Jason Witt. You can't put him up there with like the people that Niko Price has been in there and fought with and fought good fights. So I don't know. This is another fight that I couldn't get a good read on. So I would just say stay away from. I'm going to pick Niko Price just because I feel like he should be able to not get knocked out. Like if Gabe Garcia didn't get, or Gabe, what was it? Gabe Green. Gabe Green. I went to school with Gabe. If Gabe Green could stay and not get knocked out, he's pretty durable. I'm thinking maybe that Niko Price can. And like I said, maybe get some time control time and all that and get a decision. I actually think that this fight could possibly go to decision, but I couldn't get a big read because also Phil Rowe, you know, his striking's really good and long, and he's got good power and he's got good knees, and he could just take Nico Price out real quick. So couldn't get a good read. I'm going to take Nico Price, but no confidence in this one either. And I honestly think that there's going to be a lot more grappling in this fight than people think. If this fight stays standing, then you want the under all 100% all day long. But I mean, Nico Price, he's not the easiest guy to go out there and just knock out. I mean, he's went long fights with Vicente Luque, taking big shots. You know what I mean? So give me Nico Price. No confidence. No confidence at all in this, man.
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm taking an up-and-coming guy. It's just like a momentum thing. The momentum on Nico Price seems to be going like from level to declining, in my opinion. You know, whereas the momentum on Phil Rowe, there's some upside, some some upswing to where he's at in the division. The problem is so I put 1 unit on the plus 120 underdog price. I would not bet him as a favorite. What I do like is I maybe would consider betting Phil Rowe after round 1, like a live bet. The issue I have with that, and that's simply because he's going to get taken down and come back in round 2, as he always does.
Right.
The issue I have with that is, for one, you could see the sniper versus zombie matchup play out early on, and Phil Rowe could become a bigger favorite after that. That's always the danger with live betting. But also, Nico Price doesn't like slow down after round 1 either. Like, he kind of speeds up or stays the same, or maybe can bait you into a war of attrition and come out the victor, like he has against Donald Cerrone. I mean, I know that was a draw, but that was because of a point deduction.
Right.
Did the same thing sort of with Cowboy Oliveira, I think a year ago. That was his last fight, right, for Nico Price?
Yeah.
Alex Oliveira, yeah.
Michelle Pereira, too. Pereira.
That was a dicey fight. Like, the Alex Oliveira one was close. That was a close fight.
Super close.
Towards the end, because he kind of gassed out a little bit. Both guys were jockeying for position on the cage, takedowns. I agree with you that there's going to be wrestling, because that's the obvious choice to make against Phil Rowe. You don't want to be faced with a half a foot of long, accurate reach against you. You just rather take the guy off his feet and nullify that.
Right.
For sure. I would assume Philip Rowe, I think there's still some improvements to be made as far as, I'm going to predict some improvements being made as far as his takedown defense, his clinch game, digging underhooks and reversing position, things like that. He's got just the perfect frame for welterweight, honestly,
He does.
You look at a guy like Nico Price, and the guy is huge for welterweight, but even bigger is Phil Rowe. So, I just think this is going to be a sniper versus zombie matchup where Nico Price playing the zombie, Philip Rowe playing the sniper with the long weapons. Nico Price's his striking defense is so piss poor. Like, it's just, I can't look past it, and I don't think he's going to get stopped per se. But I just think it's going to be enough where 2 out of 3 rounds, probably rounds 2 and rounds 3, go to Philip Rowe. We'll see some improvements, and I think he cashes as a dog here. But it is a close fight. So we're liking the over in this fight, right? Because you're thinking it's going to be wrestling.
I know the under's pretty big, but yeah, man, I think both these guys are durable, and I'm thinking Nico Price is as durable as Gabe Green. So like, I feel with the grappling that's going to go on. Philip Rowe has not looked good until he looked good. You know what I mean? Kosi and Jason Witt, they're with Jason Witt, he slows down way faster, but they're able to get him late into the second, before he's actually knocking them guys out. And I put Nico Price way above them guys, way more durable, way more cardio than them guys. So yeah, man, I actually think that plus money over, maybe not go to the decision. I don't know, but I like that over 2.5. And I think it's like the under was minus like 170 or something. So
under 2.5, around minus 170. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think that we're going to get around, maybe in round 1, burned off the clock with, maybe the first 2.5 minutes is striking, and then Nico Price gets a takedown, or it's the opposite. I don't know. But I'm hoping to see some better get up game from Rowe. And again, I'm banking on improvements in a guy here with way less fight miles on him in Philip Rowe.
Right. And he could get the knockout. He could get the knockout at any time too. Like if for some reason Nico Price does slow himself down from grappling too much, we could see Philip Rowe getting another late finish. So I don't hate taking either one of these guys if you got them at plus money, because I think Rowe started out the favorite.
That's the key. That really is the key, is that getting
plus money. Yeah,
putting less in to get more in return. That's kind of where I want to get with somebody like Philip Rowe, who's got a lot to prove. I want plus money, and I got just 1 unit on him.
Right, and some people even got Nico Price at plus money. So it's like some of these fights like this, whoever you get at plus money, you made the right play.
How do you feel about the live bet situation with this one. Do you think it's worth even dabbling in a higher price? Say he gets grounded. Philip Rowe gets grounded by Nico Price all of round 1, just like his last couple of fights.
Yeah.
You get plus 200 for Philip. You get plus 200 Philip Rowe. Would you take that? He's down around. So what would you want? What number would you want to bet?
Because that's what we've been seeing him do, though. Come back and knock people out in that second or third. So yeah.
But like, what are the odds you would have to see to put a unit on Philip Rowe
after losing a first round?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see like plus 225, plus 250,
kind of,
somewhere in there, 2 to 250, and then because I mean that's what he's been doing, getting beat up till he ain't, and shows good cardio, good toughness. This is a little step up in competition, so we're gonna see how that goes. But man, I don't mind that. Like I said, it's tough after a guy lost a round, but I don't know if we're expecting him at that point to come back and win the decision. Maybe he gets the finish over Nico. And you never know, man. Nico Price is a madman. Maybe they come out and they both just start swinging and somebody gets finished early, because Nico Price has been known to do that too. But I think he goes with that wrestling route. I think that's the smart thing to do.
Justin Vegas reminding us about Nico Price has a lot of kids, and so does Alex Oliveira. I remember that was fun because both guys were fighting for the joke was going around. Yeah, they were fighting for like a bonus so that they could feed their like 12 kids they got between the two of them. So amazing. Yeah. But so we're on slightly opposite sides there, but we might be for this next one too, because I got a weird feeling about this super close, maybe a possibly boring fight between Eric Anders and Kyle Daukaus. I believe we are now on the main card, so I appreciate all of you guys, all 34 in the live chat, hanging out with us.
Yeah.
That's the absolute best on a Thursday. After a week off of the UFC, we had PFL last week. That was fun. It was a great card, but nothing like a nice 15-fight UFC card on the road, UFC Orlando. Let's break into the main card here. Eric Anders taking on Kyle Daukaus at 185. Neither of these guys do I like too much, to be honest with you, but we do have Kyle Daukaus, who is a sizable favorite here, and I think more money has come in on him. He's like a minus 225, minus 220 favorite over Eric Anders, who's a plus 190 or so underdog I've seen. God, the money line is so mispriced to me, dude. Like, I really want to take a stab on Eric Anders, but I cannot trust Eric Anders with my money. And I've already trusted a few fighters who I'm not sure of with my money, but it's just because we always, as gamblers on this sport, we're kind of like weighing the odds between trying to find value on the line and then also like how's it going to play out? Is it trustworthy? Is it worth it? Plus 190, you're really forcing my hand here, but I still can't because Eric Anders is 35 at this point. We've pretty much seen how good he's going to be. I think the best he ever looked was against Darren Stewart at the time that they fought, right? He knocked Darren Stewart clean out early in the fight and then got disqualified. And then pretty much he was able to come back and do it again in a rematch, and then he looked like shit in the rematch. So what the hell is up with this guy? He's had a lot of opportunities to look very powerful at two different weight classes now, and he just has never come out looking that great, coming off of another stale performance over Junyon Park. So my view on this fight, I think it's going to be very clinch heavy. I'm going to take the stronger guy with the mispriced money line on Anders, but I told you that. Who was it before? Clay Guida was like my 13th confident pick on this card. Yeah, Eric Anders 14, is the last. He's 15. He's the very last one. I put a big 15 next to his name. I'll take him. Again, this is just the product of this being a close fight. The line is just ridiculous. Give me the bigger, stronger guy to dominate the clinch and narrowly win a decision here, but I'm not tied to this fight in any way. So you like Daukaus here? You like the favorite?
No, man, I like Anders. I liked him at plus 170. I didn't bet him. I freaking UFC New York killed me on that. I bet 3 plus 170 or bigger favorites, and they all showed that they was plus 170 favorite or underdogs. I mean, Anders is going to be bigger, more physical, thicker guy. I think he's going to be able to stop the takedowns of Daukaus. Dustin Stolfus was able to for the most part. I love the over in this fight. I think this is going to be a clinch battle up against the cage, a boring-ass clinch battle where they're both going to be going back and forth because that's what Daukaus did against Stolfus, and that's what Anders tries to do every fight that he's in. If he can't get the takedown, he holds him. I was actually impressed with Anders' last fight against Junyon Park. I bet Park, and I thought Anders won. I was pretty shocked when they actually called Park's name. I think Anders has looked phenomenal. Not phenomenal, but way better since he's gone to Fight Ready. You know what I mean? I thought he beat Park. He beat Darren Stewart both them times. Like you said, the second time didn't go as good, but I think Stewart was more ready, for the power in the game of Anders in that second fight. Obviously against Munoz, that's just, it is what it is. That's different levels of fighting. But yeah, man, I just think that this is going to be a boring stand-up fight. And I think if Daukaus can't get the takedowns, that Anders will have just as good striking, if not better. And I think that he's going to be stronger and more physical up against the cage, in the clinch situations. And I think it's just going to be a boring fight. I'm going to take Anders. I can't believe the line. I don't know what people are seeing, like have watched Daukaus and just assume that like he's going to go out there and Jamie Pickett Anders or something. Anders has really good takedown defense. He's a really big dude. And now if Daukaus can get him down and can get his back or something, he can definitely finish Anders. You've seen Anders even in a grappling match with Petrosky. He got finished, but Petrosky's got excellent submissions. I don't think Anders has ever been submitted in the UFC. I think Thiago Santos might have pounded him out. But yeah, man, give me Eric Anders. Not very confident, but I'm pretty confident in that over, man. It's not even priced that bad, -170 or something. I really like that. I almost bet it, but I would have had to put the 3.4 units on that, and I just instead chose that Mateus. We get to that one. I don't even think we. But yeah, man, give me that over. Eric Anders in the over, and not confident in Anders. Not that unconfident for a +190, but I do like that over a lot.
It's even the fact that like how inconsistent, like coin flip on both of their decisions, right? Kyle Daukaus has been to what, like I think he's been to a couple decisions either way. Like he's 50-50 on decision results. I think 2-2. Eric Anders 5-5 as far as decisions. So even when it gets to the scorecards, it's a coin toss, and their consistency in that spot. You're probably getting. I think you're right. I would expect the over in this fight to be maybe slightly more, but they are big guys with finishing potential. The submission threat for Daukaus, the knockout threat for Anders, but the over seems like a good spot. But it's going to be scary because we just saw Kyle Daukaus get knocked out in the clinch. He's been dropped in the clinch before. You and I both agree this will probably play out, jockeying for position in the clinch, and Anders has very good weapons there. I think that's where he did his work to knock out Darren Stewart before destroying him with that illegal knee. So it's going to be scary if you got money on either side of this one. So if I were to be on it, I'd probably play, like Anders' decision or something for a big payout. But
sounds like it's going to play out close in both of our opinion, and you're getting a guy +190. Like you said, I've been burned on Anders a lot, man. I've been burned on him a lot. Even in the freaking first Stewart fight, I had a big bet on him, dude. And he's just working him. It's over. And then he freaking knees him in the face for no reason.
That's so bad. I hate that. You're like, yes, no.
Wait, what? Is even like Rosa, man, that was some bull crap too. When Carol Rosa kneed Landsberg in the face. And then I'm like, oh shit, luckily Landsberg's a beast and tough, and she continued fighting, but she could have got out. Right. The ref took a point. Then who was the next one? Oh yeah, Nurmagomedov kneed Godzi in the face. And the ref's like, hey man, watch your face. His knee's right there. Stop it. And keep going. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was the other card, I think earlier this year. Man, which one was that? It was in the spring. It might have been Luke Muhammad, maybe. There's a card where there was like a million fouls. Like Caio Barallo got a foul, Martin Budai got a foul. There was like a ton. Everybody was fouling. It comes in groups, I feel like. Yeah,
that was San Diego with Budai.
Jenna Marie likes Eric Anders. She loves me some Eric Anders.
Yeah,
boy. That's a crazy nickname, I gotta say.
Like it. He's been looking better since he's at Fight Ready, man. And he's at least going to come with the game plan. He tried like 17.
I miss his fights. Oh yeah, Darren Stewart.
Yeah, Darren the dentist Stewart.
Yeah, he had kind of a rough decline as well. We got Eddie Santana saying, "What you smoking, Papa?"
Me? Or Papa Chuck? Me? Oh yeah, one of these church disposable pens. The little it's OG. OG something. Just got him.
All right. I'm surprised that we're on the same side of that fight, and we kind of broke it down similarly. That shocks me. I thought I'd be alone. I thought you'd call me an idiot for that one.
No, never. You know what you're talking about, man.
But I'm not betting that fight at all. It's crazy. I was trying to dissect some prop to whether it goes the distance. That scares me.
I like
Anders by decision, which is down at +300. Come on, get out of here. I need more money than that.
And like Anders, you know what I mean? He's, if anything, he's durable. He's tough as shit. You seen? I mean, remember what Khalil Roundtree did to him? And he just kept fighting, and he got kicked in the leg like 80 times, knocked down from leg. Tough dude. Yeah,
Eric
man,
is one of those. Eric Anders is one of those guys where I've just always expected more from him. Every fight I expected to be the one where he puts it together.
well, he came in on fire in the UFC,
and now he's like it's like at the end of the road for him now at 35.
Didn't he beat Machida? Am I tripping, or did he lose that 5 rounds versus Machida, like his third fight in the UFC?
Yeah, a lot of people thought he won that fight. It was close, but he lost it. It was a
and then after that, dude, then Thiago Santos took his soul, bro.
Well, I thought that was the crazy part about the Machida fight for Andrews was that was a headline spot that headlined a fight card.
Oh, correct. Oh
yeah, that was a crazy one. So and it was in Machida's home country too, Brazil. I think it was in his city as well. Yeah.
I got like 25 minutes.
All right, let's get through it then.
Yeah,
let's get through it. We got Hermansson up next against Roman Dolidze. Spot here where I do have a money line bet on Jack Hermansson. I'm pretty confident he gets this done. Short notice for Roman Dolidze, who has been on a streak lately, knocking out the guy we just talked about, Kyle Daukaus. Kick us off in this middleweight bout where Jack Hermansson, sizable favorite, like a minus 180 or so at this point. I got him at minus 155 on the money line. Minus 190 for Hermansson, plus 165 for Dolidze. Who you got here? Any action?
No action on this fight. Because it's just weird. It's like, Hermansson's probably going to piece him up from the outside. He could probably even use his wrestling in this fight because I think he can stay safe on the ground. He's got really good jiu-jitsu himself. The problem is Hermansson's not good against power guys, man. He reacts weird to power guys. Like when Thiago Santos was hitting him, he just like this. I know that's back in the day, but he kind of like gave up, took some bad body shots and stuff. Then you seen with Jared Cannonier, man, like he was shooting for takedowns to save his life. And then like once he couldn't get him, Cannonier, hit him a couple times and he pretty much wanted to be done. But in this fight, I do think having the big cage is going to help him. He's going to be able to move around on the outside, but he's got to watch out for that power because like if no bets on this fight. I mean, in my video, it just came out, like the fight came out the night before because I did my video a little early and I picked the Dolidze, but I have no confidence in that. As it goes on longer and I think about it more, probably Hermansson in a decision, but I do like the over, man. I really like the over because Dolidze is super durable. I don't know, man, if he catches Jack. This is another tough fight to call. Like, that's why I don't want to bet it because, like, I can see Hermansson win until he's not because I know Hermansson pieced up Chris Curtis, but this is different because Dolidze actually will come after you with big shots. Chris Curtis is low output, kind of like counter-punching, was stalking him down but not throwing any punches at Hermansson. Like, Dolidze, I think, will go for the win, go for the finish, but yeah, man, what I really like is the over. I do think this fight goes over 2.5 rounds because even Hermansson's pretty durable. You know what I mean? And I don't think Dolidze is not subbing him. He's not subbing Dolidze. I think that it's going to be another fight kind of like the Curtis where Hermansson is trying to just skirt out of the way the whole time, stay safe. So
yeah, what I like about Hermansson is the improved striking we saw against Chris Curtis, who a lot of people thought was going to kind of run through him if it didn't go to the ground. And Hermansson held his own there. Hermansson's a great grappler, and he's been in a lot of 5-round fights as well. So his cardio is there. Roman Dolidze, I like the guy, powerful, hulking guy, but he's not going to have the grappling advantage, in my opinion, in this fight. The striking, he's powerful, but he's going to get outstruck in the volume numbers. So, and then cardio, I'd say goes to Jack Hermansson. Once again, experienced Jack Hermansson, full camp, getting ready for a wrestler in Derek Brunson, Jack Hermansson. So that was a spot. When I saw it dip down to minus 155 with a short notice opponent, I had to hammer that line a little bit. So
yeah, that's why once I started doing more stats, man, and everything, just I lean Hermansson and by decision.
All right, there we are. Let's move on.
And that minus 155 is a good line.
It's nice. Yeah. Let's move on to Tuivasa versus Sergey Pavlovich. Only heavyweight fight on this card and a banger of one. This one could certainly be its own fight night headliner, for sure. I mean, Tuivasa just came off of title contention bout. Big loss as a big underdog to Cyril Gane, but he had his moments. Almost got that Bam Bam Tuivasa knockout at one point before getting finished himself in round 3. Sergey Pavlovich, 16-1 record, only ever losing his debut to Alistair Overeem, who was able to actually trip him to the ground and land some very accurate ground and pound, which knocked Sergey Pavlovich out. Not out cold, but it was enough where one big ground and pound from Overeem just basically made him curl up and quit in that one. So And we all know Alistair Overeem is my boy, best heavyweight to ever do the damn thing. Probably one of the best light heavyweights of all time, besides Vitor Belfort as well. And these are not opinions, folks. This is just absolute fact. So
this is written down.
This is just a fact. So, anyway, Pavlovich has been on a streak since then with like 5 round 1 knockouts. The under in this fight seems like it would be the move, right? Under 1.5 is definitely going to be juiced. I think minus 200 something for the under. BetOnline has it at minus 245 for an under 1.5.
Crazy.
Which is crazy. But when you think about the all of their finishes have all been under 1.5 rounds, all of their actual knockouts. So that makes sense from like their wins perspective. But as far as betting that, I mean, you're better off taking the over 1.5 in this spot. You're going to be clinched the whole time. But I mean, these guys they might respect each other's powers. So I'd rather not even take a time prop in this one. But the under seems like it would make sense for sure. If you could just bet either guy wins in round 1 and average out the plus money there, maybe that's a side too. Just fight doesn't start round 2. Right. But I am taking Sergey Pavlovich in this one. I think in a battle of 2 guys punching each other, who can hit the target first? Sergey's the bigger guy with a huge reach advantage, straight punches, good combinations. Tai Tuivasa's got a lot of those uppercuts, hooks, big overhands, shorter arms. But he's faced the better competition, and we've actually seen Tai Tuivasa make it to the later parts of a fight and the decision. So, tough one, man. This is again, this is one of the lesser confident picks. Staying away from all parts of this fight, but Sergey Pavlovich is the pick here. Don't like the money line. How do you feel about this one?
Give me that dog, man. Give me that dog to do a shoey. Give me that dog to do a shoey. Yeah, man. Pavlovich hasn't fought anybody. I'm not even with the old Derek Lewis. Before that, Maurice Green. You got like whatever Gollum, whatever dude. Against Overeem, man, he didn't like getting hit when he went to the ground. He took like 2 punches and he just turned over and was quitting. Like, you're not going to see that out of Tai. I think Tai's going to be a lot faster. I actually think Tai's going to be more durable, even with getting finished by Ciryl. Because I mean, he took a lot of punishment in the last part of the round, but most of it to me was to the body, dude. Like, he kept getting hurt to the body. Yes, he got finished to the head, but he knows how to switch stances to get in close to beat that reach. Ciryl had an 84-inch reach, right? 84-inch reach, I believe, 83 or 84, and he got inside on him. He's the only guy that I've ever seen land good shots on Ciryl. Even Francis Ngannou, none of them dudes landed good shots on Ciryl. Not Volkov, none of them. He dropped Ciryl. Ciryl is a big athletic dude and was able to get up in 1 second. He got dropped, boom, up against Cage before big-ass Tai got on him. If Tai drops Pavlovich, dude, it's going to be over. And I just think that he's going to be faster. He's going to hit harder. I think he's got more heart. And I think he's going to get inside and land a big shot on Pavlovich, man. The more of the ways, like, Tai's got some losses, but it's like Sergey Spivak was able to out-wrestle him, right? Even, what's his nuts? What's the one dude? Blagoy used some wrestling against him. Pavlovich ain't going to wrestle Tai, dude. And actually, Tai showed decent takedown defense when a Ciryl tried to take him down a couple times. But Pavlovich ain't going to wrestle him. I think we know that. And if you're just going to have a stand-up battle of 2 big dudes throwing knockout punches, give me the guy that's like plus 185 that's knocked out some bad mofos in his career. He's knocked out some tough dudes. And I just think that like, he's going to take some shots from Pavlovich, but I don't know if Pavlovich is going to take his shots back from him. And I've seen Tai be tough. And I just think he's fast. And like I said, with his stance switches, he uses that to get inside on these big-ass dudes, dude, and just throw some good punches. And he's got slick boxing, slick defense. You've seen against Ciryl fought a great fight. And, yeah, I think that – I mean, I love the under, too, based off all the stats. But as the line goes up, these dudes might both come out respecting each other's power. Exactly. You know what I mean?
It happens time and time again where it finally hits ahead and the under does not cash because they just are circling, looking for the perfect punch, not trying to fuck up. And
right.
Yeah, you're right. So
yep. So man, yeah, man, as that big, it started as a pick'em. It's not like the bookies just started off, hey, Pavlovich minus 200. This started as a pick'em, and I think that's where it should be. So give me that dog, dude, plus 185, plus 190 to land a big shot, dude. Like Tai Tuivasa.
I'm honestly really surprised that Sergey is this big of a favorite.
It's crazy.
For sure. Minus
he's never beat anybody good besides Derek Lewis, and like that's the oldest version of Derek Lewis you're ever going to get in your life.
Yeah, I mean, he's never beaten any, but he's never looked like, aside from Alistair Overeem, who was able to, use some of those late career Overeem savvy tricks, get him to the ground with ease. you never really seen him look terrible either, which is the odd
No.
part. So it's weird. This should be a pick 'em in my opinion. So I don't hate the plus money. The way I think it
one to
plays
land the
out,
big shot in these two boys. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah. Which
that's a lot of
which is
money.
why I'm picking Pavlovich, is because the first one to land the big shot. I think it will be Pavlovich. I like his physical advantages, and I just like the way he throws his combinations and his strikes very straight with the 84-inch reach. Yeah, and Ty's just coming off of a knockout loss. Made a lot of damage. I do want Tai Tuivasa to win this fight. I'm rooting for him, so it'll be nice to not have a bet on this fight and just watch, and just hopefully we'll see Tai Tuivasa in Orlando on the edge of the cage, chugging beer out of a shoe. Everybody go ahead.
I stayed away from it because I won't be shocked if it's the big Russian doing their little Russian salute or whatever they do.
Yeah.
But hoping for Ty, man.
He pulls off his size 16 shoe and does his own shoey.
Yeah. Listen, if Ty can knock down Cyril Gane and last that long with Cyril Gane, dude, I think he can catch, dude. Cyril Gane, like, that's another thing. Pavlovich is, dude, he don't move, dude. You know what I mean? Pavlovich is like this, coming at you, kind of he throws good boxing and all that.
He never has to move. He never has to move. Nobody's ever getting close to him.
I see that big dude just falling, man. I think this, like, even in the Alistair Overeem Pavlik fight, they didn't do much in that fight before he got taken down or tripped, like you said, and stumbled, tripped down, and got beat up. It was a low pace striking match. Neither dude really got hurt on the feet, so I could see that, like you said.
Yeah, how Ty would win is Ty would definitely I think Ty would get hurt by a jab or something, kind of stumble back, and then Sergey always rushes in, and he's so confident. Against
Lewis, I was so scared when he
rushes in and he drops his hands completely. His no hand is by his chin. He can certainly eat a big overhand coming in.
I bet him against Lewis, and when he hurt Lewis and then just went rushing him, like, no, because you've seen Lewis act hurt a lot and then throw that, like, against Dos Sancho.
Always.
Yeah, so man,
always.
Yeah, that's where in Ty, dude, you go to finish him like Greg Hardy and them, he'll knock your head off. So it's a good fight, man. It's
Uncle Weezy got the under 1.5 at -125.
Oh,
Woo!
That's awesome.
That's a good line.
Hey, I was reading that earlier. That's why I was like, holy shit, under 2.5. And then I seen he corrected to one. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, that's an excellent line, dude. Excellent line.
All right, so we're on slight opposite sides, but we agree on the exact same principle of this fight. Whoever lands first, probably not going to go to decision, and the unders are in play. It's just kind of priced us out at this point, unless you're Uncle Weezy.
Unless you're Weezy.
Yeah. Of course, Jenna Marie, of course, Vitor and Overeem, the best fighters to ever do the damn thing. Right up there with BJ Penn. That's my Mount Rushmore right there.
Penn. I love BJ Penn.
Moving on past the heavyweight fight. This one, I think you and I, just based on me seeing your breakdown, I think we agree on the side on this one, but again, we might disagree on the time props. Mateusz Nicolau versus Matt Schnell. Flyweight fight. One of these rare flyweight fights where I took a stab at the under in this fight, and it's all based off of just the better technical boxing and striking from Nicolau. And Matt Schnell, I really think his chin is just made out of glass at this point. Like, he's been dropped so many times by some shots I don't think would really hurt him. He had that nice comeback victory last fight against what's his face, Jauregui. Epic performance. One of the that fight is like if you had like a little video encyclopedia of like explaining mixed martial arts to somebody who doesn't know. Play that fight. For the 2 rounds that lasted, that comeback victory was so sweet. Choking out a guy who's just bleeding profusely, and just gets up and gets to raise his hands. I mean, it was awesome. But that fight was almost stopped due to standing TKO. So, I mean, Matt Schnell has to really almost lose the fight and die for his chance to come back and win the fight. I think Nicolau, don't get me wrong, Nicolau is very low volume with his striking output, but he's very technical, and he's faced a lot of good competition that kind of has a power threat. Like Manel Cape is kind of an example of that. So I expect Nicolau is going to have a lot more chances to land here with his better technique because Schnell does power forward. He's very confident despite having that glass chin. He's very aggressive. So don't like the money line. The money line is I don't like, but I do like the under, and I did bet the under in this fight, under 2.5. So I think you're on the opposite side of this. Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm going to take Mateusz Nicolau, but I'm going to take him in a close decision. And I bet the over 2.5. Mateusz Nicolau, 6 of his last 7 fights, wins, have gone to decision. Very low output. 7 fights in the UFC, only landed over 65 significant strikes 1 time. Matt Schnell seems chinny. He seems chinny. He got hurt. He got robbled against Sumadarji, but he's only been knocked out one time in the last 5.5 years, and that's to Alexander Pantoja, who's a fucking savage. You know what I mean? He did get submitted by Brandon Royval, but these are different styles. Pantoja and Royval come at you in the first second and try to kill you. You know what I mean? From the first second of the fight, where Mateus Nicolau, he skirts around the outside, wants to hit you with a counter shot, run around the outside. Doesn't really shoot. He's a point fighter. I mean, honestly, if you go watch his last, the Dvorak, super close fight. They neither one of them landed like 50 strikes in it because he just ran the whole time. Tim Elliott, man, close fight, came down to that third round. He landed a takedown to get the win, but other than that, he's skirting around the outside, not even throwing nothing. Who was the one? He had another, Manal Cape, another one. I mean, he survived there, but it's just his fighting style. He skirts around the outside. He like I said, last 6 to 7 fights have went to decision. Matt Schnell, 2 of his last 4 fights have gone to decision. I think this fight's going to look a lot like the Rogério Bontoran fight or the Tyson Nam fight, where it's just a low output fight where Matt Schnell's coming forward. He may get hurt here and there with a counter, but Mateus Nicolau is no killer, man. He don't have that killer instinct. Even he's got some knockdowns in the UFC, but even when he knocks guys down, he's not finishing them. He likes to stay safe. I don't see Matt Schnell finishing him. Matt Schnell's not a guy he's not going to go shoot a bunch of takedowns, try to get the submission. His submissions come from off his back. I don't think Mateus Nicolau is going to have to take him down to win this fight. I think he'll win a nice, comfortable counter striking match like Bontoran did. And I just, all the stats say that Schnell, he doesn't look durable, but the dude's durable. He had 3 losses in a row. Finished maybe about 6-7 years ago. But since then, he's got 8-9 fights in the UFC and only 2 finishes, and them are to Pantoja and Brandon Royval, who are the 2 of the most prolific finishers in that division. And he even showed a good chin against Pantoja before he got finished. But I just think this is going to be a boring striking match, counter striking match for Nicolau. It's in the big cage, which even helps the over even more with these 2 little guys.
Okay.
Nicolau, 6 out of his last 7 wins went to decision. His only finish was against a low-level guy. So it's just his fighting style. Matt Schnell can be finished, but that's the guys that come out to finish him. But that's not Nicolau. He don't come forward. He skirts around the outside. So I love the over. I bet 3.5 units to win 2.5 units. Didn't get the best line, man. I got -140. I've seen the books at -120 all week, but my casino just wouldn't drop it. But I still loved it, man. And bet it big, man. I really do think that this is a really boring fight. I think that there are 65 to 70 significant strikes landed on either side, and it's going to play out close. I didn't put in. I got Nicolau by decision. Didn't put him in no type of parlays or nothing though, because
the price is out of whack for this fight for the money line for
-5. Yeah.
I'm in between you guys. I'm in between your bet on the over. Daz Files was on my side on the under, but he cashed it out. He got a little bit of cold feet about what you're saying. Maybe Nicolau doesn't finish him. I think it comes down to, as we talk through
people, and he don't care.
It's probably about Matt Schnell. How does Matt Schnell fight in this fight? If Matt Schnell is kind of risk adverse, then he can probably survive. If he's going to be very aggressive and fight like a madman, like he has a few times recently, right? I think he gets cracked. Then he gets counter-struck and he gets cracked.
Well, Go watch his 2 fights, not his last 2, but the 2 before that, where he fought Rogério Bontoran and Tyson Nam. Low output striking matches. He's got good boxing. Even when he beat Tyson Nam, he just outboxed him, jabbed him up the whole fight. And I think that's what this is going to be. Because like I said, Nicolau never stands still to throw strikes with you. He's constantly skirting on the outside. That's what he does. You come in to do something like Dvorak hit you with the big counter shot. But I thought he lost that fight to Dvorak too. I don't think he should be -400 here, because he doesn't have where he's just you're like, he's going to go take him down, submit him. He's going to come out here and knock him out. It's like, go look at his DraftKings stats. I mean, he's $9,200 on DraftKings. Ain't nobody going to draft him. He don't score over 65, 70 points and wins. Dude's not dangerous to me, in my opinion. He's a good fighter. He's very well-rounded. Now, if he did come out and go at people to get the finish, I think he could, but I just don't think he will here. It's not his style.
Once again, I'm a big proponent of this. I do not hate any take that you can make to make a bet on an over in a flyweight fight. Most of the time, they're going to go over. I mean, these
big
guys
cage too.
Yeah,
big
yeah.
Cage.
I'm way more suspect of Matt Schnell's chin. I'm sorry. I don't think it's glued together. Since the Hector Sandoval nightmare of a fight.
That was
that
was a long time ago. Though, man. That was like a Randy Brown. Randy Brown got knocked out by the little hammer fist from Nico Price, but you wouldn't say he's not durable. It's just like a fucking weird. It's like O'Malley getting kicked in that little button on his foot, man. It was just like they got hit right on the weird button.
Yeah, yeah. I'd certainly think Bunny Hunter had the question in the chat: who's faced the better competition out of these two? I think on an average of the competition, I'd say Matt Schnell has faced the better average competition, but lately
Nicolau's
been beating. He's like his past 3 fights. David Dvorak, very very good prospect that came in and he ended that win streak. Phenomenal striker. Tim Elliott. I compare Tim Elliott to Matt Schnell quite a bit because he's very unorthodox with his approach, pretty aggressive with his approach, but Tim Elliott employs his game plan a lot better. That's a good win.
Yeah.
Manel Cape, very, very explosive and technical striker.
And he survived that, so that makes me show that the Schnell ain't gonna.
That was a boring fight too, but yeah.
That's what all those are. Dude, go watch his Dvorak fight. That's what we were booing at the stadium. I was at that fight. We was booing because that's what I'm saying. He never stands there. He skirts around, dude. He don't care what the crowd's doing. Skirts around, boom, lands a leg kick. If you watch them fights, and then like I said, go watch Schnell versus Bontaran, go watch Schnell versus he's not an all-action fighter. It's just that some of the fights he's in, they're all-action people bringing it to him. You got Sumadarji, that dude's throwing punches. Like, he's got way better striking as far as like power and straight punches and coming at you, throwing bombs. Sumadarji does. I mean, Brandon Royval and Pantoja, man, it's all the style. It's all the style.
Shout out to the early weigh-in podcast. They said they got Nicolau at minus 230 in an early. They must have got that early parlay. Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
I got some RDAs with minus 330.
Well, let's go right into that one, man. The co-main event. I know we got to get you out of here in a little bit. So going to the co-main event at 170. Very odd main event. Rafael dos Anjos, a threat at 170 and the former 155 champion. 38 years old at this point, taking on Bryan Barbarena. 18-8 welterweight, who's been killing legends his past couple of fights, right? Matt Brown, very close split decision win he won earlier this year, but Bryan Barbarena just followed that up with beating Robbie Lawler, the former welterweight champion, knocking him out TKO stoppage over the summer in July, I believe. So biggest favorite on the card, RDA. I tend to agree with it. Maybe not the number at minus 600 or whatever it's at, plus 425 on Bryan Barbarena. Don't agree with the number. It's hard to agree with that. But as far as having all the bases covered, I do have RDA parlayed with JSP earlier and one more fighter in the main event. I just don't see how he wins. I think RDA is going to just rinse and repeat takedowns, outstrike him in between, grind him against the fence, and win the fight probably by decision. I don't think he stops Bryan Barbarena, but I mean, come on. Everything leads in the favor of RDA. And this is really what a minus 500 or more should look like, where they have every single base covered except for the age. He's 38, so it's going to have to really be washed up if he loses this fight. I don't think he does. What do you have here? You said you have RDA parlayed?
Yeah, man, I have RDA parlayed with Yasmin, and then I did a little progressive where I got Yasmin and RDA parlayed with Diakese, because I mean, I think all three of these, like I think they all three win. Bryan Barbarena's takedown defense is freaking terrible. I mean, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible. He gets taken down by Matt Brown. He's getting taken down by Jason Witt. He gets taken down by everybody. And, like, he's getting his legs just picked up and scooped and slammed down. Like, decent get-up game, he wiggles, he'll get up. But that's against guys that ain't high-level black belts in jiu-jitsu that are super heavy on top, that put, arm triangle Neo-Magni and shit like that. So I think that RDA, man, is going to be able to if he has to just stand there and strike with Barbarena the whole time, he can do that and win. You know what I mean? He was beating Fiziev, I think. It seemed super close in the first 4 rounds.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's going to be able to hang with Barbarena as far as that. And then his wrestling and grappling, he's just going to either hold him up against the cage. Dude, RDA is a grinder, man, and to the highest order, black belt fighter. He's just a black belt in fighting, dude. He has a black belt in fighting. Every single thing, he's got every area covered. The biggest part that you want to look for this fight, if you're trying to say, well, I'll pick Barbarena because he's got the motor, he's got the gas tank. No, RDA's got that. He ain't never been known to gas out. You know what I mean? In a 3-round fight too. Come on, man. This is a giant step down in competition for him. He should be able to clinch work and take down Barbarena, hold him down. I don't know if he gets a finish. He might be able to on the ground, because like Barbarena don't get finished too much standing up. I know Randy Brown finished him, but on the ground, dude, like RDA is on a different level as far as jiu-jitsu and everything. So maybe RDA wears him out, hits that arm triangle, because like when he set it up on Neo-Magni, it's not like he wore out Neo-Magni. I think that was in the first or early in the second round. It's just that when he went to pass and Neo-Magni went to hip out, dude, he threw him right in the arm triangle. So give me our RDA by domination. Most likely decision, but I don't know. Maybe he could catch him in a submission. But Give me RDA by decision. I got him in them 2 parlays, and I feel confident.
Yeah,
I got him at one at -330, one at -420.
I agree with you, man. I think it's unlikely he drops the ball here. But remember, there was a time back in the day. Do you remember the fight when Clay Guida broke his jaw with that that guillotine choke?
Jeremy Stevens too got him.
Can't believe they're on the same card now at this point in their careers. And
crazy.
Yeah, completely different spots on this card too. Like one has way more longevity than the other as far as being a co-main eventer is concerned.
Yeah.
But moving on to the main event of the evening, thank all 30 plus of you guys for hanging out with us on a Thursday. And thank you, Cody, for hanging out with me and blessing all of us with your time. You have immense knowledge and measured success in this game. And let's close out the year strong with Stephen Thompson versus Kevin Holland, potential 5-round main event at welterweight. Kevin Holland coming off of, I'm kind of ignoring his last fight, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that relevant in this bout because we've got 2 strikers. 39-year-old karate master Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland, 30 years old. Very long, rangy striker. The first guy to really outsize Stephen Thompson, probably either ever or in a long time for Stephen Thompson. I can't think of anybody with an 81-inch reach who was that much taller than Thompson at welterweight. So interesting spot there. And we have Kevin Holland. Like I said, I'm kind of ignoring the Khamzat Chimaev catchweight at 180 fight that happened in September because I don't think Stephen Thompson's going to go ragdoll this guy around and Darce choke him. I would be very surprised. I don't know what the odds would be on that, but it would be astronomical. So Kevin Holland, better grappler, never seems to take the fight to that realm unless he's already got somebody knocked down. Third fight really at welterweight recently, right? Tim Means, Cowboy Oliveira before that, finished them both in round 2. And the odds are close. It was a pick'em fight. Now money's moving in like a -140, -150 on Holland. Plus money now on plus -160, plus 120, plus 130 on Thompson, maybe plus 140. The more I topped off my parlay. Kevin Holland, I parlayed him with RDA and JSP. Now, if I build out a progressive parlay the way we're doing, I would certainly hedge out if I was winning because I think Stephen Thompson, I think this is a close fight. This is a 5-round fight. Stephen Thompson been doing very well in those. Striking fight. I'm just going on the youth. I'm going on the youth. 30 years old for Kevin Holland. He's got knockout power. Not only can Stephen Thompson get his rhythm for 5 rounds and outpoint him, but that's just as well could be said for Kevin Holland. He's going to have way more opportunity to get that knockout strike. So we've seen Stephen Thompson put out by a very unorthodox power striker in Anthony Pettis. I think Holland can do some of those weird, crafty things as well, especially when you got 39-year-old Stephen Thompson keeping his hands down, moving in and out, relying on a lot of speed and reaction time to avoid getting hit. So give me Kevin Holland here. Not my most confident pick, but it is leading off my parlay. So if I have an opportunity to hedge out, I will do so. But give me Holland.
Yeah, man. This fight's so tricky, dude. This is another one that's so tricky where I just stayed away from it because, dude, like even with predicting it, like to feel confident, man, is tough because, all right, so Stephen Thompson, obviously phenomenal kickboxing, right? Phenomenal range, distance, everything. You've seen just 2 years ago, he beat Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque, who are 2 phenomenal 170ers, and he in a striking match, the number 2 good strikers, and he beat him in a striking match with movement and all that. The thing that worries me is I see everybody picking Kevin Holland and by finish, but dude, it's like by knockout, right? Or club and sub, but it's like weird because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has 23 MMA fights. He's been knocked out 1 time, and that was by a crazy, like Superman punch off the cage by Anthony Pettis. So it's kind of a freak thing. It wasn't like, he just caught a 1-2 down the pipe or whatever. Then he had 59 kickboxing matches and it was 59-0, never got knocked out 1 time. So this man has almost 90 fights and only been stopped 1 time, and that was off some crazy ass Superman punch, just something that you could never expect really to come. So like, I don't know if Kevin Holland just comes out here and knocks him out. Like Kevin Holland's got good boxing and shit, and he's got decent power and all that, but it's not like, like he's the most crispy technical.
I get you. I think it's more because of that's how Kevin Holland wins his fights. But I totally agree. Right. I think it could be a decision just as likely.
Yeah, and I'm picking Kevin Holland because I do think he could land the harder shots. Right, I do think he could get a club and sub. But dude, I just think that like 90 fights, dude, 1 knockout on a crazy weird thing. I just think that if it's a striking match, and to be honest, like obviously we can all agree that Stephen Thompson's going to have the better striking. You know what I mean? It's just that at this age, is he going to be faster? Stephen Thompson hasn't knocked nobody out in 7 years, I believe. It's been about
it's been a long
7
time.
years, almost 7 years. He can KO Johnny Hendricks off of steroids, Hendricks. And then Kevin, like I said, and then he's been knocked out one time in 90 fights. So I feel like the over is the way to go on this fight, because I feel like he's not stopping Kevin Holland. And I mean, Kevin Holland does have good striking, right? But it's like he's knocking out dudes like Joe Quinn Buckley, who's not moving too much. He moves a little bit, but in that fight, they just had a striking match.
And a shit talking fight too. It was just Kevin Holland talking to him the whole time, which also brings up, not to cut you off here, but bringing up Dad's Files' point, which really is the worrying factor in this bet, is Kevin Holland's fight IQ. Holy shit! I mean, I was able to cash on that by betting against him. I bet Derek Brunson by decision, tripled my money easily. They wanted to run it back later against Vettori. Vettori by decision, smashed that one again. It's all because Kevin Holland is kind of out of his mind a little bit, you know. He kind of quits if he's losing a fight. Could we see Stephen Thompson just side kicking him, leg kicking him, jabbing him, and then Holland saying like, "Oh yeah, man, you hit me pretty good there, man. Nice strike. Hey, Wonder Boy, you doing pretty good there. Hey, good strikes." And he just loses 5 fucking rounds and destroys my parlay. So that's why I'm going to hedge out on him if he, is the last remaining piece of it. Yeah. So
you're right. He only boxes. You know what I mean? Like Stephen Wonderboy, I'm picking Kevin Holland by decision, but like Stephen Thompson only has to really worry about boxing with Kevin Holland. Yeah, he has the reach advantage and everything, but Stephen Thompson's seen everything you have to see in a cage, and he's dodging the power of Jeff Neal and Luke A and all these other guys. But yeah, man, dude, this fight I stayed away from it. And if I had to bet anything, I would like to get one of them, 2.5, 3.5 overs on this. But I like the over, and I'm picking Kevin Holland very hesitantly, because I think we can agree that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has the better striking, right? He's gonna have the better kicks as far as movement. That's what he's done his whole life.
No, I'm writing that down, dude. Let's ponder that. The alternate overs, like the over 2.5, the over 3.5, even though it's set at over 4.5. Yeah, I want to check those out. That's a good one. They weren't released when I did the research for this one.
Also, another thing is you guys, I don't know. I don't think actually the Gilbert Burns ones, I think that was a pay-per-view in a bigger cage. But also Wonderboy's been having to use a lot of his techniques in that little cage lately too, and it doesn't look as good. But he's going to have the whole cage to move on this. He's never going to stand there and just throw bombs with Holland. So it's going to be weird, dude. I think Wonderboy has the better striking, you know what I mean? But Holland probably will land the bigger shots, maybe rock him, maybe drop him. I don't know, here and there. But I like the over. Wonderboy been knocked out one time in 90 fights, in 59 kickboxing, all the MMA, and it was a weird, crazy shot. And I don't know if Holland comes out here like everybody thinks and just knocks him the fuck out. Like, he only has to worry about boxing and mainly a left hand. And Stephen Wonderboy
on Bovada Sportsbook right now, the over 2.5, and this is minus 135.
Oh, I bet the shit out of that. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has a KO nobody 7 years, so we can agree probably he's not going to finish Holland. He's a point fighter, so he's never going to stand there throwing combos with Holland. These are going to pop, move, leg kick, move. So I like them overs, man. I really do. If you add up all the stuff, and Holland's dangerous, but that, like I said, his knockouts come. He wasn't knocking out like Darren Stewart. He's got some decisions, losses, and wins. You know what I mean? And this is the best striker he's probably fought. Most of his losses are against guys that want to grapple him down. So it's a tough one, man. I stayed away from it. It's a tough one, though, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Leading off my 3-fight parlay, Kevin Holland. But otherwise, yeah, I've got a few money line bets in this one. The time props as well. I have like 2 or 3 of those, I think. So I'll put up my best bets and props video tonight after we get off stream here. I'll release that tonight. And good luck to everybody watching the weigh-ins tomorrow. We'll see which of these fights remain. Cody, no, you got to get out of here. It's been a pleasure having you, and everybody in the chat, all 30 plus of you guys that hung out with us on this wonderful Thursday night. Awesome fight card ahead of us. 3 more UFC events to wrap up 2022. Let's all finish strong. Make sure you follow Cody and all the links I put in the description. And Cody, let the people know where they can find you.
Blood Money MMA Bets on Instagram. You get my bets throughout the week, a little earlier in the week. I just put out my official bets video. I put that out on Thursday. Me and my boy Johnny K Picks do our live show on Wednesday night, and we've been doing. We're going to do some more live shows before all the events coming up. We just got a couple left. Find me at Blood Money MMA Bets on Twitter. It's Blood Money MMA Bets, but the thing is like Bloody MMA Bets. So I don't know what you got to type in to get me, but Yeah, man, follow me everywhere there. Hey, Justin, Grateful Dude, Johnny, Rob Lawrence, Jenna, everybody that came out, Daz, my boy, everybody, Rob, all you guys, man, Eddie. Appreciate you guys. Bunny Hunter, my dude Bosa, Mushroom with the great food. I enjoy looking at what you eat every single day. I like the live videos too, Mushroom. So hit us with some more of them. But Daz, everybody, man, I appreciate you guys coming out. This is one of the funner shows I do. You and Johnny K Picks are my dudes to do shows with, man.
Hell yeah,
Best
man.
information is in the game. So
I know you're one of the small group of people I talk to on like a daily basis is talking shit in the group text. So doing a show with you is very easy. It's always just like we're just group texting in real life. So I appreciate your time, and let's cash some big tickets and keep your win streak alive.
Yes,
I'm trying to hit a third week in a row now. So
you'll get it.
Let's do it. All right. I appreciate all of you guys in the chat. Guys, have a good night, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Cheers.
See y'all, you guys. See you guys.